Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, something's wrong with my can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, what I need you to do is send the link. Send the link. Excuse me. Send it. I can hear you. Send the send the send send the link. Send the link to my Wu Tang avatar. Wayofstrategy44.com.
I Tony.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why my headphones ain't working all of a sudden. It's some bullshit.
Hold on.
I'm gonna move to my tablet, man. My goddamn laptop tripping, man.
Okay. Way of Strategy 44. I'm going to get off this one.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Hello. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I'm here.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Fuck. Anybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
All right. Turn this shit off. Oh, fuck.
I can hear you.
All right. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right, almost got it figured out. All right, almost got it figured out. Hello. 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 Now can't nobody hear me, I guess, huh? Hello.
I can hear you.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all go ahead and do your thing, man, because I'm having some weird shit going on with my computer, man. I can't moderate this shit.
Yeah. Angry Man say you got your playback on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, shit, I can hear you.
Shit. Damn. Shit. Obsidian still there?
Yep, I'm right here.
All right. Obsidian still there?
You said you got your playback on.
All right. Okay. Turn that off.
You said you got your playback on.
Okay. Turn that off.
You said you got your playback on.
Okay. Turn that off. All right, can you still hear me?
Yep.
You said you got to mute your playback. I can hear you.
I mean, this shit ain't playing, man. Shit.
Yep.
You said you got to mute your playback. I can hear you.
This shit ain't playing, man. Shit. Cause I'm looking at it on YouTube and I don't put this motherfucker. I don't stop the play. It's on pause. So I'm looking at it on YouTube and I don't put this motherfucker. I don't stop the play. It's on pause. So I'm looking at it on YouTube and I don't put this motherfucker. I don't stop the play. It's on pause. So this shit crazy. Hey, y'all go ahead. Y'all just do y'all thing, man. Cause I can't stop this goddamn noise. This shit crazy.
You said does Obsidian have his playback on?
Hey, y'all go ahead. Y'all just do y'all thing, man. Cause I can't.
Okay, how about that?
Ah, okay. Yeah, that stopped.
All right, it was my fault. If everybody out there listening, it was my apologies. I neglected to mute my line, so that's where I think the feedback was coming from.
That's what it appears to be. So everybody can hear me?
Yep.
All right, then. Tony, you can hear me?
All right, it was my fault. If everybody out there listening, it was my apologies. I neglected to mute my line, so that's where I think.
Tony?
Yeah.
All right, you can hear me. All right, then. All right, let's see.
We still got feedback.
God damn it, bruh. Because I don't hear no feedback on my line.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There's an echo.
I have no idea where that echo is coming from. Because I don't hear echo.
Wait a minute, hold on. All right, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
See if Obsidian is here.
Yep.
Okay, that's much better. Everything is right now. God damn, man. This is some bullshit. Okay. This shit crazy. Hey, everybody, check it out, man. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of weird for me, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I parlay with my boy Tony Maceo, you know what I mean? Philosophically, I rock with him heavy. And also, I rocks with Obsidian heavy too, man. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things Obsidian says that mirrors what me and Tony say. And it's just weird seeing cats kind of like, I don't know, at odds with each other. I don't really understand, what's going on with you two cats, man. So basically what we going to do today, because I know Obsidian laid down a gauntlet and he basically told Tony, if you got something to say, you know what I mean? If you have some sort of retort, you know what I mean? And you want to come at me and talk about this, that, and the other, you know what I mean? Show me where I'm at, I have my flaws and what my errors is at and whatnot, man. So it's just kind of weird, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out what's going on between you two, man. I don't know, before we get into the back and forth between you two, I just want to ask Obsidian, man. I don't know, do you have anything personal against Tony? Nothing personal. There's nothing going on behind the scenes I should know about? No? All right, what about you, Tony?
Absolutely not.
So this ain't personal?
No, not personal.
No. Okay, so this is merely philosophical. Y'all have some sort of philosophical quandaries going on, man?
Yep. To me.
Okay, all right. Okay, well.
It's rather petty, but yes, there's a philosophical disagreement, but I guess that can be said, but.
All right. Well, Obsidian called you out on the carpet and basically on not his last podcast, but the podcast where he said, is he a dating and relationship hypocrite? And he told you to come on the program. And from my understanding, you wanted a more intimate setting where you didn't have a whole lot of people jumping in and basically interrupting you. You know what I mean? So that's what we're doing here today. We're going to get the one-on-one, the mano-y-mano. Okay, so does anyone want to lead off with questions? Because I believe Obsidian, who has questions for who?
Well, wait a minute. Before we go anywhere, we're going to have some housekeeping rules.
Okay.
First of all, I'm not going to talk over him.
Okay.
Second of all, he's not going to talk over me.
Right.
Third of all, if I know Mr. Obsidian gets up early in the morning, so should he find himself sleepy, I would think he would have the decency and the courtesy to let somebody know he's tired and we can continue this another time. It's not going to be a situation to where somebody's asking you a reply and you're either muting or sleeping or ignoring. That's not going to happen here today.
No, it's not going to happen. I'm fine.
All right. So secondly, we're going to keep this civil. We're going to attempt to keep this civil, and we're going to let everybody air their grievances. Nobody's going to cut you off. Nobody's going to do any of that, because we're going to preserve this. Because when you go back to your channel, I want a record of this. I don't want you to say you were treated unfairly. I don't want you to say anything was left unexplained or unexplored. We're going to hash it out so that I'm clear and so that you're clear. And to borrow your phrase, clarity is better than agreement.
Shout out to Dennis Prager.
Shout out to Dennis Prager. I want to assure that there's clarity, even if we agree to disagree, which I'm sure we will do. And so with the good keeping house rules in order, let's go.
Let's go. All right, then shit. I don't know. Should we spin the bottle? Who's going to fire the first salvo? What we got going on here?
I'm going to ask the question. First of all, but let me address my Wu-Tang avatar. My Wu-Tang avatar is here because YouTube is not the world to me. This shit is entertainment. I'm not interested in being a celebrity. The people that need to see Tony Maceo, see Tony Maceo. The ones that don't. Personally, I don't care if Obsidian I'm not pressed to see what Obsidian looks like. Because truth be told, I don't care and I damn sure wouldn't ask to see him with his shirt off. You understand? So I'm not pressed about his identity. So I don't know why he would be pressed about mine. So, and secondly, I want to know what is it, because he has a habit of saying we don't address the issue, we address him. So I want to assure him that we will be addressing not only his issue, but all issues. So I want him to state his issue so I can answer and speak to his issue.
Well, to speak to the appearance thing, I've noticed, and this goes to your question, Tony Maceo, I notice in black circles, and I say that because in comparison to white circles, you don't
hold on. I'm gonna let you finish. I forgot one good rule of housekeeping. I don't mind the people you brought over, your members. I don't mind them being in the chat room. I don't mind them voicing this dissent. But if they get too out of hand, their ass is out of here. So you might want to talk to them. Okay?
Well, they heard you.
Okay, just so they know. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. I've noticed over the years that people wouldn't actually address what I said. Instead, they'll speculate about my motivations ad hominem, make statements about my appearance ad hominem, ask questions one way or another with regard to my appearance ad hominem. I mean, they would just do a lot of ad hominem assaults instead of actually addressing what I actually said. So the whole issue with the appearance thing, and the picture that you see right now on the screen is a shot of me at a holiday semi-formal party last year, around Christmas time last year. And there I am, suited and booted. There was this idea that, Obsidian is fat and he's, disgusting looking and all the rest of it. So I decided, why don't you take off your sunglasses, the whole bit. So I said, okay, since I'm dressed to the nines for the occasion, why not? And I allowed this shot to be taken of me looking full on at the camera, no shades, suited and booted. I have a whole bunch of other pictures that I took that night, full length shots, no, obfuscations or me hiding behind something or whatever. You can clearly see I'm not a fat guy. I do walk with a cane, but I do admit that I am technically disabled. It isn't as bad as it sounds. And in real life, I've never had any problems from the ladies with the fact that I walk with a cane. As a matter of fact, if anything, because I get sexy canes and not those old fart canes you get from the hospital, the old metal gray deals, because I get sexy canes and I have a whole collection of them. If anything, I get a lot of attention from the ladies because they see it as a conversation starter and a conversation piece. So a lot of my detractors initially, and not surprisingly, black women. And when these pictures were released to the public, it automatically quieted down. But I noticed as this, what I refer to as the great Pookie and Ray-Ray debate really ratcheted up to a fever pitch, I noticed that there were guys now starting to demand what I look like. And one of those people was C Boogie. And he says, well, I can't determine what you're really working with unless you got your shirt off. And I'm like, okay, why would a man demand to see pictures of another man shirtless? Where do they do that at? And then he demanded to see, well, you ain't smiling. I want to see your teeth. I mean, it's like, really? So because I know you frequent his venue, I just made the observation, I just made the observation that I found it interesting that he didn't seem to have the same type of litmus test with regard to you. Because, personally, it doesn't make any difference to me what you look like one way or the other. I was just making the observation. So that's how all that got started. By the way, I want to take this time out, if I could, to give a shout out to Kevin Samuels, the image guy. I refer to him affectionately as Saint Kevin. And I took his advice about the need to look nice and invest in yourself, that you're seeing the manifestation of that. Since then, that's December 2018. Since then, I've gotten 4 other suits since. So one of them's in the cleaners. I got to get out tomorrow, as a matter of fact, because I'm going to be attending a brunch event with my lady friend on Sunday. So I just want to give a shout out to him and let this stand as a testimony and evidence that the old man is not against self-improvement.
Okay. Anything else going on here, Tony? Tony?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I just mute my mic so there won't be any noise because I want to make sure he gets that out.
All right.
All right. So now the second issue. So now you know that I'm not concerned about how you look. The second issue is you said that we never address your points.
Yes.
So I want to be clear to you. Your points were addressed. The bastardy, that's one of your points. The bastardy on this end was addressed by us before you made it to YouTube. You understand that? We did topics on this matter on Liberated Syndicate, which you admittedly don't listen to.
Right.
Because YouTube is your primary format.
That's right.
So the issues that you were talking about were already raised and discussed. We didn't have a large following and we didn't seek to create one.
Okay.
So because you critique me without adequately listening or knowing what my position or what my statement was, it showed that you were not only misinformed, whether innocently or not so innocently, so as to misstate that your argument was not addressed on your platform. That's the second thing. Excuse me, your positions were not argued. Your positions were pre-argued. You just did not know what our position was. See, I listened to you, or I have been listening to you, because granted, you are entertaining dude. I will give that to you, bar none. You are entertaining. Some of what you say I actually agree with. But again, your points were already raised and dealt with. You just weren't aware of them. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't correct for you to say that your point wasn't answered. You just didn't know we had already, that ship had already sailed. Mm-hmm. And you missed it.
Okay, well, let's go into that. Exactly what did you guys say with regard to the now? Last time I checked, 77% out of wedlock birth rate in Black America. I like to use the old English term bastardy.
And I have no problem with bastardy.
Yeah, I think that speaks much more trenchantly to the issue. Exactly what have I missed in your previous addressing of this issue?
One, I said the shit was horrible.
Okay.
Two, I said the kind of dysgenic breeding that was taking place was out of step. I said straight up that they selected these men based upon the degree, the currency in the Black community is aggression. And there is science to back that up. I said that the shit was dysfunctional. I said, but however, because that is the present state of affairs, you still must find a way to cope with the situation and still be victorious. That was my position. And my position, and you actually, here's the thing, you mimicked you mimicked our catchphrases, but then gonna diss me after you bit me. So
well, how can I diss you if I wasn't aware of your previous discussions?
Fair point. But you did it. You criticized me. Let's put it that way. When I said straight up, I said, look, I said this shit is backwards. And I said in the final analysis, when they figure it out, it's too late. We did these podcasts about bastardy. We did these podcasts about mating selection years ago. We did the Pookie and Ray-Ray years ago. We said that shit was dysfunctional. But we said in the end, just as your hero Tom Leica says, they always come back.
Yep.
They always come back.
Yep.
So that was our position. That has been my position, that bastardy is not a good thing. You understand?
Okay. Yeah. So, and I would like to request if you could send those to me. I would like to sit down and listen to them over this weekend when I have some downtime. I like to listen to those previous podcasts so I can really fully educate myself as to what was said and the whole material, if you don't mind.
Well,
And
that's on the Brady Syndicate, and you have to get Mac can give you that.
okay, great.
I'm the co-host. I'm just the co-host. He
all right,
can give you that material.
very good. All right, so we are in agreement on the Mackcity point, and this is important because, and this goes to the title of tonight's exchange, is Mumia Obsidian Ali a relationship and dating hypocrite, which is, a take on a show I did earlier this week. And the reason why I did that is because I had noticed in this what I call the great Pookie and Ray-Ray debate, the discussion would immediately turn personal. And that would be this. These so-called lames and all the rest of it, they're just angry that they couldn't get the women that they wanted. They're just, sitting on the sidelines with, seething with impotent rage. And that's really the problem. Nothing else to see here. Move along. And in that debate, the position would be these guys want to upbraid the women they want for choosing guys they feel are subpar or deficient in some way. But then they turn around and want to get with, the proverbial big booty Brenda hood rat instead of staying in their lane and getting with someone as lame as them. That's being hypocritical. As a matter of fact, C Boogie, this is a big, selling point for him. Literally at this point, it's a big selling point that, these guys are just jealous, envious. They're green-eyed with envy. They're sitting on the sidelines in impotent rage. They're jealous of the select guys. They just can't hack it that they just drew the short end of the genetic stick. They're just unlucky, and that's just a cross that they have to bear in life. It's nobody's fault. If anything, it's their own fault because they won't improve, etc., etc., etc. So I said, all right, since it's clear that we're not going to actually deal with the arguments as I have laid them out over the past 4 years, I'll play along. So I said, fair enough. Let me put this question to my audience. Am I a mating and dating hypocrite? And what was interesting is I did the show for over 4 hours and very few people could actually answer the question. So maybe you can tonight, Tony. I say no. In comparison to the black women whom I am responding to, I am not a hypocrite. And I can explain how and why in tonight's exchange.
Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for me to respond?
Yes.
Okay, my position is I actually agree with C Boogie. And I'll tell you why I agree with C Boogie. Because when these discussions are had by the other side, it invariably comes back to pussy. It invariably comes back to the men that they're choosing. It invariably comes back, to them not being. The story is always about them being swerved in some manner. So what I hear, even when I listen to your channel, the older gentleman he's kind of balanced, and of course Gab Talk Media and a couple of other ones. But most of the other ones, it always comes back to pussy. So when you make an argument to me is more than just authority. The argument is also about credibility. So my thing is that, to me, I am justified to doubt your credibility when you're constantly talking about pussy. See, because when you say bastardy to me, you're concerned about bastardy to me. Chris Rock said, if you stay home and, he was admonishing single mothers. He said, if you stay home and teach this little motherfucker something, he won't be robbing me in about 20 years. Okay? But when you give constructive criticism as opposed to improving the black community, and you may not want to improve the black community, and that's your right to do so. It is your right to do whatever you want to do. It is not your right to fuck with anybody you don't want to fuck with. It is not it's not imposed upon you to fuck with women that you don't like. You don't have to do that. No one here, and I'm going to make that clear, no one here is telling you to deal with women you don't like. If you don't like what you're giving, sit it out. As you always say, Xbox is a better option. But what I'm saying to you is that in these discussions, it always comes back to a dick swinging contest. It always comes back to these niggas trying to bar up at somebody else's expense, other than the issue of quote unquote bastarding, other than the issue of dysgenic breeding. As I said before, I listened to your podcast, and it was in one of your early podcasts before you got the studio with the so-called Elvis Mike and all of that. You said that all decisions come from mating.
Yep.
You said to Rusty Balls, you said, if I don't get big booty Brenda, I'm not interested.
Yep.
You said that if the kids came to you and offered to sell lemonade to help, you said you would tell them no.
Yep.
You said if they came to ask for your support, you would tell them no. And then you even went so far as to co-opt a 17th and 18th century philosophy and adopt it to your personal sexual peccadillos. So when they label the criticism at you that it's about pussy, why would it not be about pussy when that's all you ever talk about? When that's the baseline of your decision, and you've admitted that that's the baseline of your decision. So those people are within their right to doubt your sincerity as far as the argument you stated, because to them, it's a credibility thing.
Am I back up?
Yeah, you back up.
Okay. Well, this is funny because this goes back to what it tells me, and you said earlier, I wasn't aware of a particular major point that you had made in years previous, and I freely admit that. I was ignorant of that. I would like to kindly suggest to my interlocutors who bring up this point in general, and me in particular, that they too are ignorant, or they're either ignorant or they themselves have a credibility problem because they heard what I said and just didn't want to accept it. From day one of my addressing this issue, it was about pussy. From day one. If I am addressing black women directly as a response to their multi-decades harangue about how black men writ large ain't shit because of the black men they chose to suck, fuck, and reproduce with, who either can't be good dads and mates or won't be good dads and mates. If I am responding to black women, then by definition, it's about pussy. By definition. I have never denied it. That is the fundamental problem here. The people on the other side of the debate want to make it out as if there's some kind of stealth motive here. We got to find out who the real killers are. There is nothing that is hidden about me. I am the most transparent personality on YouTube. By choice. Not by law or edict or fiat, but by choice. And I think what really bothers some people here, like with women, women, because women have, and you know this, Tony, women scientifically have so many complex, complicated needs, concerns, anxieties, etc., especially in the mating realm, especially with regard to men. A lot of women it bothers a lot of women that men's needs just aren't as complicated. They're just more simpler. And that really, and I'm not going to lay this at the feet of black women. I've seen this with white women too. I mean, it really bothers a lot of women that men just really don't need that much from women. Their needs just aren't that complicated. And I think that's what's going on here. I notice a lot of people really bending over backwards to try to ferret out what my actual motivations are and all the rest of it, when I'm pretty much, an open book. I mean, people can call me or text me or email me anytime and ask me whatever they want. I'm willing to go and debate people, interview with people, pretty much anytime. I think a lot of people just have a hard time accepting me on face value because it's so simple and straightforward. And because, to be brutally frank, and Elijah Anderson talks about this in his excellent work, Code of the Street, for a lot of street black people, they project a lot of their own stuff onto other people, stuff being deception, delusions, trying to get over on people, running game. That's part of what it means to be in the street life. You're always on the lookout for the con, for somebody trying to get over on you and all the rest of it. And you always think that others are going to do to you what you might do to them. And that's just not my orientation. That's one of the reasons why we have this clashing between certain groups of black men, as what Thomas Sowell called a conflict of visions. I'm pretty straightforward. I mean, it is what it is. So from day one, pussy, reproduction. It's been about mating and the consequences that flow from mating. For men, there's a such thing as casual sex, but not so for women. And that's for the simple reason that women pay a higher price to mate than men do. Casual sex is rarely casual for women. And if that ever was true, it's true in the black community, where we both have agreed we have a nearly 80% bastardy rate. So my argument is, I've never denied that it's about pussy. Never denied it. From day one, I've acknowledged it. Duh. No shit, Sherlock. Very astute. And that's it.
Okay, if that's the case, you said you've never denied it, but at the least, I would take the opposite. I would say you haven't so much as denied it, or you've sought to obfuscate it. Because when you have been asked this question before. Somebody asked you, is it about pussy? You would say, well, no, it is about the dysgenic breeding. But that involves pussy, duh. But then when someone says, okay, are you trying to shame them? And you say, yeah, they need to be shamed. So you say shame comes from something that you believe that they've done wrong. And obviously in your mind, who they're fucking with is wrong. Now, to be sure, is it dysfunctional? One can certainly argue yes. Okay. However, is it within the science of mating? Yes. It is the after effects of that science, because in the black community, as you very well know, again, bringing it back to your issue about the out of wedlock birth rate, bringing it back to your issue about the bastardy and all of that, the black community is largely a de facto matriarchy. True or false?
I would agree with that statement.
Okay. If it is a dysfunctional matriarchy, or it's a de facto matriarchy, it is dysfunctional. True or false?
Agreed.
Okay. So if it is a dysfunctional de facto matriarchy, and we don't have and we can argue about government policy and welfare, which I'm actually partially in agreement with you on. I would say this: are other parameters being considered when they fuck these dudes? In other words, what I'm saying is this: women usually select like you said, it's complicated. The cost is much more expensive than women. And I'm gonna iron this out and make it plain. Women will select for, of course, physical attractiveness, but there are other cues. There are other sexual or psychological cues. There is he cruel and abusive?
Right.
Is he gonna harm me or my children? Secondly.
Right.
Thirdly, does he have some type of commitment? This goes to your argument about character. Okay. Is he gonna just walk off and leave me and my children? There's the commitment thing. And then there's whether or not he's a provider. There's that question. And then there is the ultimate question: is this a weak man? Can I count on him to protect me and my children? Well, in this dysfunctional de facto matriarchy, where there are no men present, those other psychological cues go out the window, because it becomes all about, are you weak? Can you defend me? Can you defend me or my children? And that's where it comes down. That's where the attraction comes down to Pookie and Ray-Ray, because it is about survival and strength to them. They would rather be with I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I understand it. Now, we could talk about whether they're truly strong or not. That's a whole separate argument. My thing is, I'm trying to understand the problem. The concept is this. The angry man said this, and I hope he's in the chat room, because he was right on the money when he said this shit. He said, in their mind, from their mentality, they would rather be with Pookie and Ray-Ray because they believe Pookie and Ray-Ray will protect them. So he is a better choice according to the matrix or the matrices of their psychological cues than you. So they would rather risk abandonment than to be with you, because they're interested in someone to protect them. And if that is the case, it would make sense for them to pick a Pookie and Ray-Ray. That is the dark side. That is the other side of the mating argument that has not been explained. That is the other that has not been adequately explained. So it would make sense. Now, does it have its consequences and effect? To be sure it does. Because at some point they discover that strength comes in many forms. Strength comes in many forms. But in the Black community, based upon that hierarchy, based upon that analysis, based upon that need to find somebody to protect them, to survive, aggression creates that hierarchy of males in the Black community. So of course they're gonna, what is it you call them? Consunian ninks, whatever term it is, consunian. Consunian sing niggas. They're gonna select them because in their mind it would be better for them to be with them than be with you.
Okay, am I back up?
Yep, you back up.
All right. So first of all, I saw Angry Man before we got started, and according to the chat roll here, he got blocked by one of your moderators.
Stop. Do not block him. Do not block him. Do not block him. Let him go. Do not block him. Bring him back. Do not block him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been now me and Angry Man have gone around the mulberry bush on this great Pookie and Ray-Ray debate before. And wait. Vector. I'm sorry, Obsidian. Vector, do not block him. Vector, do not block him. Go ahead, Obsidian. I'm sorry. Yeah. And I've been, before I came on a little bit earlier, I was watching some of his more recent content with regard to the Pookie and Ray-Ray debate. And I think he brings up, some interesting points that I'm looking to address in the coming live show week. So I want to thank him for that. I think this is good. We need to have more conversation. That's always been my goal with Obsidian Radio. So if this is any indication, I've achieved my goal in spades. With regard to what you just said, Tony, I don't disagree. I think we all are in agreement that the argument, the rationale for why black women make the choice in certain mates that they do is based in part on the idea of these guys being a soldier. As a matter of fact, Destiny's Child made that idea, you know, a blockbuster hit. The problem, of course, is the devil's in the details, and how does it actually work in over the past. Black women themselves have testified in the form of social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, etc., that is not working out for them so well. We all saw a sister in Deep Ellum, Dallas, Texas, get the brakes beat off of her. Famous, internet famous black feminist and activist, Feminista Jones, has admitted that her "You OK Sis" hashtag campaign to fight against quote unquote street harassment has failed. She says things have gotten worse since she started it 4 years ago. Other incidents where black women were in distress have been aired, and black women demanding that black men as a collective protect them. But hold on a second. I thought that the brothers you were getting with were soldiers. I thought that they could handle their business. I thought that they were a much better cut of man than me. I thought that they was able to protect you. It's gotten so bad that even the rapper T.I. has asked, hey, wait a minute. I thought y'all brothers were bangers. I thought y'all were about that life. Where you at? So, I mean, as far as I am concerned, yeah, I understand the logic, the rationale. The problem is that the rhetoric and the logic and the rationale doesn't align with black women's own reality. That is the problem. And that is what I am addressing in this great Pookie and Ray-Ray debate. I am saying to the ladies, A, have you had enough, or do you want some more? B, if you want better, you gotta choose better. That's simple. I'm done.
Okay. Well, here was my position. If they're in a system, they're in a de facto matriarchy where there is no man present. And again, according to I want to try to use as much of the data as possible, okay? Because we don't want to veer off into anything that is unempirical, you know? But as much as the data says that aggression is a psychological cue to them. That it is the thing that would attract them. Now, ordinarily, I have to give that situation about them being, you know, accosted and assaulted and attacked. Okay, fine. But in their everyday reality, to them, perception is reality. And they come up in an environment where there is no man in the house, and the only man that they've been privy to is this type of dysfunction. So you can't say that this dysfunction doesn't have an effect on how they choose men, you know, because again, women choose men not just according to their if you believe the data, not just according to their physical appearance, but to their other cues. Those cues include their social environment as well as their cultural environment. Well, what is the cultural environment in a dysfunctional de facto matriarchy? It is the nigga that we call Pookie and Ray-Ray.
Right.
So I guess what I'm saying to you is, for what we've done, things are not what they can be, but for what we've done, things are as they should be. It may not be normal, but it's perfectly understandable. Now, if you put it to the acid test, as you say, it doesn't always wash out. Point taken. But in an everyday context, I can tell you, those niggas are ready to scrap in a heartbeat. And to them, That is what matters. They may not respond to every white man that slaps them across the face on the train, or kicks them in the face in the subway station. But make no mistake about it, them niggas will scrap over them women because, in part, a lot of them are, as you would call, baby Hueys. But the fact that they're baby Hueys or whatever or incompetent doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that in their eyes, those men will protect them. Those men will protect them. Thus, they are in the dating hierarchy, as fucked up as it is, as dysfunctional as it is, as fucked up as it is, in their eyes, that dude is higher in the matriarchy. Excuse me, not higher in the matriarchy. He is higher in the food chain than you are. We all know that Carlton Banks would make a better husband. I agree. Carlton Banks would probably make a better husband. But when it comes down to the things in her mind that are important, one of them being survival. I'm going to say that again. One of them being survival. Carlton Banks is not going to cut it. Now, I'm not supporting dating a such and so forth. I'm saying I understand the process. So though you may have, what do you call him? Perk the squirt, Robert Perkins? Right. Is that what you call him?
That's right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Is he an irresponsible motherfucker? Yeah, he is. Okay. Is he probably a motherfucker who don't do nothing but probably pay? Yeah, probably. I don't know him for sure, but dealing with these niggas consistently, he's probably one of the persons that you speak about. But he is dressed in the uniform to them that communicates to them that says he will defend me. Contrast, and I'm not trying to throw dirt on you or nothing. Contrast to you, Obsidian, the square guy coming with his stylish cane. You don't convey a message to them, the appearance. I'm not saying it's real. I'm saying the perception. You don't convey to them a nigga with a nice knuckle game. Now, I know you said you taking Shotokan karate and Aikido and all of that shit, but to a group of people that are from the, as we say, the proverbial show me state, you don't come off as someone that would defend them, bro. Robert Perkins does. You wouldn't come off as someone who would defend them. An angry man would, you see? So it is about, sadly enough, it is about appearance. So if that is the mating hierarchy, you're going to lose every time. Not saying it's right. I'm just saying I understand it.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, let me go ahead and interject something, man. Y'all gotta excuse me. I mean, I'm still trying to wake up and shit. But basically, I think Obsidian, man, I think you're giving these broads a little too much credit, you know what I mean, as far as their mental acuity, man. I mean, they simple-minded, man. It's a situation where I've been with chicks, you know, and they chose a dude because of his outer appearance, the cornrows, the tattoos, the old thug shit. And they basically expressed to me, you know, they want to roll with a dude like that because they feel he could protect them, man. But a lot of times, you know, getting with a cat like this, once again, women are emotional. They're not logical. They pretty much put, you know, their life in danger by fucking with a dude like this. You know what I mean? I done seen females get shot in the face, you know what I mean, because they riding around with a dude like that. I done seen females, of course, get their ass kicked by dudes like this. You know what I mean? It's a situation where I'm like, dumb bitch, you are putting your life in danger. You're doing the exact opposite. You say you want to preserve your life, but by following behind this fool, you know, you getting slugs put in you. You know what I mean? And not just by rival so-called Pookie and Ray-Rays, but that dude himself is, you know, he backhanding you and he kicking, he knocking sparks out your ass on a regular basis. You know what I mean? So I think Obsidian, I think sometimes you think that these females are playing with a full deck and they ain't. You know what I mean? They talking about emotions, you know, how it make their pussy feel. They ain't thinking logically. You know what I mean? They simple-minded in that regard. I just want to throw that on in there.
Well, what I'd like to say is, first of all, with regard to Chuck Pullout,
Chuck Pullout.
he and I had a exchange that culminated in me writing him a lengthy open letter. And one of the points I made in that letter, because it was in response to a Saturday, March 25th video that he did, where he suggested that cornballs and lames were attempting to guilt and shame black women into desiring them. And one of the points he made in that video was that it was unfair for guys like me to characterize him as a Pookie and Ray-Ray, because you can't really make this decisions based on appearance. Now, we know this is a ridiculous argument. There are criminal penalties for impersonating a police officer, for example. There are criminal penalties for passing yourself off as an officer of the court or as a medical doctor. So we know this is bunk. But see, I'm glad you brought up this point, Tony, and Big Mike spoke to it, which is this. See, a lot of guys want to adopt what I refer to as the thug pose. You know, like the cool pose of a bygone era. I'm looking at the bebop, jazz, Miles Davis era. The cool pose. Today I call it the thug pose. The tats, the hat to the back, even though you're in your latter 30s. The beard now, some even call it the Philly beard. It's that affecting that pose that's attractive to women. But see, here's the problem. If you're going to adopt that thug pose, you better be sure when the shit goes down, you about that thug life. And what we know now, not from me, not from you, not from any other black man, be they lame or cornball or something else entirely, but from black women themselves. These guys ain't getting the job done. They're calling for black men writ large as a collective, as Robert's fifth baby mama to be, Cynthia G, has been saying for nearly 2 years at least. The collective of black men. What is the collective of black men doing for black women? Not what is the thug posers doing for black women, the black men collectively. And see, my thing is, it's clear. They've chose the wrong horse, and now they want a bailout. They want all hands on deck now. Paris Milan goes on O'Shea Duke Jackson, making a ham-fisted appeal for black men all around to provide group protection for all black women. I see it as maudlin. I see it as disingenuous. I see it as just downright skullduggery. The same black women who know how to be so selective when it comes time to take a roll in the hay, now when their ass is in a sling and the thug posers are nowhere to be found, now all black men, we need all men on hands on deck now. We all black folks. Ungawa black power. I'm black, you black, your mama black. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? You know what my response is to that. I need not humor you with it.
Yeah, I know what
That's it.
I know what it is. All right. Well, here is my position.
We don't do domestics.
We don't do domestics.
You know how many females I done see get their ass kicked, man, by they dude, and I just walk on by and just be like, "Sucks to be you, bitch." You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tony.
We don't do domestics. We don't do domestics. That's not our MO. But what I will say is this, and I've said this from the gate. And this is where you and I have philosophical differences, because your thing is just to start the conversation. By nature, I'm an insurgent. By nature, I'm interested in overturning the established order. That's who I am. And I understand one fundamental thing about women if I don't understand anything else. Women respect power. If I don't understand anything else about a woman, I understand that women respect power. Okay? So I don't give you Cynthia G. I understand Cynthia G is annoying. I get it. She talked a lot of slick shit. She talked a lot of, greasy shit out the side of her mouth. But Cynthia G to me is a hood bitch with a Valley girl accent.
Agreed.
Okay? That's all she's ever been to me. So I never took what Cynthia G says seriously. I never take what hood bitches say seriously. You understand? But what I do know is that even a hood bitch with a slick mouth falls in line from a solid backhand. Now, I'm not telling anybody to go out there and backhand a woman. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is women respect power. And if you want that, you have to change the prevailing order. If the dysgenic breeding is harming Black America and, to your point, sucking up, quote unquote, your tax dollars, why not change the regime? Why not compete and change? Because to engage them, to the women, to engage or to overturn the order shows your worth, because that's how women evaluate you anyway. Your ability to engage, protect, to provide, and to rule. That's how they gauge you. So by nature, if that is your position, then why not come to the square and compete? Why not come to the square? Because again, as you pointed out, a phrase that we utter time and time again, time is my friend. Time is my friend. So if you believe that you're the competent and he's the incompetent, why not show that? Why not let them see that why not let them see that you are the better choice? Your position is, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to make you wish you did. Which to me, and I understand your position and it's your right to have it, but to me, that is a defeatist perspective. Because anything worth having, anything you get that's worth having, you got to take that shit. Flat out. If you want it, you're going to have to go get it. You have to be involved in some type of action that will allow you to get what you want. And for you to sit back and say, well, no, fuck it, I'm just going to let it, it's already imploded. You say, I'm going to let Black America, it's already imploded. We're only 13% of the population, but we're 50% of the motherfuckers incarcerated. Our high school dropout rates are through the roof. Our brain drain is going down. We've already imploded. So you don't want to save the community? That's fine. I'm not asking you to go and save the quote unquote community. I'm saying if Pookie and Ray-Ray is someone who you say is fucking up your tax dollars and you have disdain for these men, why not change the order and put yourself on top? And then you don't have to worry about Pookie and Ray-Ray ever, because you would be the better alternative. I'm done.
Okay. Well, as an Akita Ka, my thinking is I don't have to do anything. They're already doing it. The better man is already being sought out. The only problem here is the timeline. I'm tempted to give away some parts of Avengers Endgame. I'm not going to do that. So the timeline of events, that's the problem. Black women themselves, the very fact that they are now making straight up naked appeals on social media for Black men writ large to come in and clean up the mess and the failures of their mating decisions and the Black men who ain't shit that they've decided to reproduce with is a victory for my side. They've already admitted who the better man is. They've already admitted it. The very fact that they're doing it admits that the so-called soldiers have lost and that my side has won. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no need to get into a battle with the Pookies and Ray-Rays. Let me say this for the record, because when Mogen, there's this idea that guys like me, and I'm going to speak for myself here, somehow are worried or vexed by Pookie and Ray-Ray. Pookie and Ray-Ray, however it's defined, do not threaten me. I'm not scared of them. I have no concern with them. I know how to handle them very well. I know them a lot better than they think. The problem is that black women have a problem with Pookie and Ray-Ray. Because if they didn't, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. Everything would be okay in Black America. It would be morning in Black America again. If they were truly as competent soldiers as they say, when they got with them, we wouldn't be having this conversation. There would be nothing to talk about. So they have already admitted defeat. I just want them to sign the full confession on the flight deck, on the main deck of the USS Missouri Mighty Mo, and make it official. That's it.
The confession that you're asking for, okay, let me put it to you this way. You and I are roughly in the same age group. So you remember Jungle Fever, right?
Yep.
Do you remember the scene with the War Council?
Yep.
You remember what was said in that scene?
Now, to be fair on that note, I do not remember chapter and verse. No, I do not.
Your confession was given in that scene.
I have to go back and review it again.
I'll tell you what they said, but you can go back and review it for yourself. Here's what they said. They said, quote, they said that this concept that there are no other men out there, they said the good ones know they the shit. These would be your cats. She said they got 3 and 4 babies all over the place. You know, they can't be trusted. One of them even indicated that there was a character issue with them. And then Lonetta McKee, the protagonist, says these words. She says there are good men out there. She said they're blue collar men, they're garbage workers, they're post office workers, they're everyday men, but we're just not giving them the time of day, but they're there. That's the confession you've been asking for. So it's not like they don't know it. But what criminal, now we can argue their intelligence, we can argue their and I would argue that all street niggas ain't created equal too. I would argue that as well. All street niggas ain't created equal. So I say that. But we can argue their intelligence in the interrogation room on the first 48 hours. But no criminal is going to give you the confession you want in the streets. You understand? Especially when they got everything to lose by giving you that confession. As I pointed out to you before, I told you that you can afford to be honest. You don't have anything to lose by being honest. They do. And the science says they do. The science says that it is against them to confess. The science says it is in their interest not to confess. So, but if you're saying by nature of them coming to you and saying, well, it's too late, these dudes are fucked up. And my thing is, where have you been for the last 20 years?
Hey, Dig, man.
What's up?
By sheer virtue of the fact that the broads show up at your doorstep, man, you know, that's a confessional right there. You know what I'm saying? After she done been ran through by you know, the so-called street nigga. Now it's funny for me, right? Because I'm kind of like a hybrid theory. You know what I mean? I got my foot in the streets and on some square shit, man. So, you know, when a broad show up at my doorstep, you know, boo-hooing and crying, that's a confessional. You know what I mean? If she swerved me for another nigga and that nigga hang her out to dry, then she show up, You know, I mean, it ain't gonna be easy for the broad. You know, I'm gonna put her through some changes. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go ahead and put me on some second banana shit, bitch. You know what I mean? But that's a confessional as far as I'm concerned. Go ahead.
Mac, do you have the wrench?
I'm not even at my computer, bro.
All right.
Who talking shit?
Angry man. Angry man is saying he's still blocked, and now
What the fuck?
he's saying he's still blocked, and now he's giving a live on his channel, talking about how he was blocked. So here's the situation. Here's the situation. Don't block anybody else unless you're told to, please. Unless you're told to block somebody else, don't block nobody else. Don't block nobody else, because here is what I'm doing. I'm not interested in blocking people with a dissenting opinion. Now, if you crazy and you coming out your mouth backwards, yeah, you get blocked. But I'm not blocking. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to create enemies for no apparent reason. So don't block anybody unless you've been asked to. Please don't do that.
Hey, where do I go to look up? Is there some sort of list of blocked people on here?
I don't know this YouTube shit. I don't do YouTube. This is why I got my Wu-Tang avatar. I don't do this shit. Okay? So what I'm saying here is that, it would make sense why they would do it. I'm not saying it fleshes out, but it makes sense. And there's a science to it. But here's what Obsidian said. Obsidian said if they come to his door, it's too late. He said when they come to his door, he wants them to confess. He wants them to confess. He wants to hear them break down and confess. And then he further said he wants to humiliate them. You understand?
Right.
Humiliate them. And my thing is, okay, why the necessity to humiliate him? Well, he said, well, I don't want sloppy seconds. That's his other. He said, well, I don't want sloppy seconds. And my thing has been, okay, well, then you don't need to be dating, because everybody's getting sloppy seconds. Even Alan Roger Curry is getting sloppy seconds. Somebody done been up in that woman before he does whatever he does to her. So all of this pussy out here in the dating market is salvageable. There are very few women that are chasing. By chase, let me give that definition, that have less than 5 bodies on their cooch. So if your angst is that because they've been with Pookie and Ray-Ray, then you're gonna have to sit out about 70 to 85% of the dating in Black America. In Black America, you're gonna have to sit out of 70 to 85% of the dating scene in Black America. So what I see is this visceral, and I've been there. What I see is this visceral anger and rage against these dudes, and due in part to the fact that they are the first selected. I do see that, and I hear that in the conversations and hangouts. And what I'm saying is it's totally unnecessary, because if you're the better man, you're the clear winner anyway. So why the need to go after them? If they're not a factor, and if they don't matter, and if they're, and I know you're going to say, well, because black women come to you. Well, a damn criminal going to always come back. What hood bitch we know don't come back and lie about the dirty shit she did? You there?
Yep. Well, first of all, I'm not talking about hood bitches. So, I mean, it was
an example. It was an example. But
right.
Let me take the word hood off of it. What woman don't come back and lie about the dirty shit she do?
Okay. So, fair enough. Number one, I don't know where this idea came from of, these guys are just jealous of of the select guys. I'm not jealous of any man, for a very simple reason. I'm me, and I love me, and I'm very unique. There will never again be another Obsidian. So as far as I'm concerned, and I know who I am and what I'm capable of, and what I can accomplish and what I can do. And so there's no need to be jealous of anyone else. For what? Now, can I admire people? Sure. Can I be inspired by others? No doubt. Can I dislike other people? Sure, I don't hate. There's very few things or people in this world that I actually hate for a very simple reason that I got too much of a busy life to be stewing in hatred. So it's real interesting to me to hear this notion that somehow these guys, a real big issue here is this anger at the guys getting all the pussy, whatever. That doesn't apply to me. That's number one. Number two, with regard to my whole thing with not wanting to deal with sloppy seconds, probably the one area in my life, people know that I'm somewhat conservative. I consider myself a moderate, but if there's one area of my life that I'm pretty liberal, I mean, just stomp down liberal, it's in the sexual arena. I don't knock black women or any woman for having a roll in the hay with whoever. That's never been my argument. When I talk about sloppy seconds, I'm talking about baby mamas. When I talk about sloppy seconds, I'm talking about black women who have a track record of mating, even short term, with at the very least sketchy guys. We're talking about Sierra here. Okay, stuff like that. That's what I mean when I say sloppy seconds. I don't mean I want a virgin or 72 of them, so to speak. No, I'm not saying that I want a woman that's got, only 2 sex partners. No, I'm not going to be tweaking over a woman that likes to have a good sex life and she's had a number of lovers in her life. I'm not tweaking over that. I'm tweaking over how she did it, and I'm tweaking over what came of it. So if she's a baby mama, if she's got a track record of dealing with sketchy dudes who by her own admission ain't shit, now I'm giving her the side eye. That's what I'm talking about. And as for my own peccadillos, if you will, my own idiosyncrasies, why not? I think that when people request your assistance, I think that you should be able to have a little fun with the mouse. Why not? Why not? The wheel turns, the balance of power has shifted, and karma is a bitch. Why not? I do it because I can. I mean, we ain't got to go into no long, drawn out thing of this. Why do I want to, give them a workout? Because I can. I love interviewing older women these days. And the first questions that come out of my mouth is height, weight, dress size, please. If they're not prepared to give those simple metrics, there really isn't nothing else for us to talk about. And I go from there. I can do it because I can. Like you said, the Professor Tom Likas, they always come back. I've seen that firsthand a lot. That's it.
Okay, well, in your podcast, I got two questions here. In your podcast, you asked straight up, you said, am I a hypocrite? And you said, in one instance, you said, on one hand, you said, well, it's not about who they're procreating with, who they're having a role in the hay with, is they're producing children. And you said, well, if they want a different outcome, they should try a different dude. Okay, fine. Then you turn around and you say, well, I want revenge. And it's perfectly human for me to want revenge. And people want revenge when they have been injured. People want revenge for a slight. So my question to you is that if you want revenge, are you saying that because is that for entertainment value? Because I know a part of your shit is shock jock. I get that. I get that. A part of it is shock jock. So when you say, I want revenge, exactly what slight, what reason, or what purpose is it that you want revenge for?
Well, I've talked about that again, and if I may, Tony Maceo, now you're revealing a bit of your own ignorance. I've written about this over at A Voice for Men, better part of 4 years ago at this point.
No, no, no,
And it
no, wait,
originally,
wait, wait. I'm asking you a question. I'm just asking a question. I don't know.
right,
So
and I'm laying it out for you. I'm laying it out for you. And it originally appeared on a website that I co-founded called Just for Guys, now defunct. It's called A Blue Collar Brother Finally Speaks. You can still go there today and look it up. And I lay it bare. You know, the reason why I'm so candid about my life, for example, my disability, you know, I have no problem showing the world my vulnerabilities. It takes true courage for a man to do that. As Tom Likas has said repeatedly, every man has been hurt by a woman. That's no great shock.
Okay, so
I don't know why people would approach it that way, as if somehow that's some great revelation. Obviously, I've been slighted. Obviously, I've been hurt. What's the harm in getting a bit of recompense? What is the harm?
Okay, so my question, I asked the question. I asked the question because I didn't know. So when you said you wanted revenge, so this plays into the whole thing about whether you are dating hypocrite. Because on one hand, you would say, well, the bastardy. And then on the other hand, you said, well, I want revenge. So the question, when somebody say, oh, you're just mad because you can't get the bitches you want, or you're mad because you've been swerved, and then you turn around and say, I want revenge.
Yeah. Well, so I'm confirming. I'm confirming for you what you said. So where's the hypocrisy?
Wait.
I'm confirming it.
I'm going to explain it to you, because you're saying it's about the social issue of bastardy. It's about the dysgenic breeding. When you communicate, that's the message you communicate on one hand. But then when you get going, you say, I want revenge.
Right.
So now it becomes, okay, wait a minute. Is this about the bastardy? Is this about the dysgenic breeding? Is it about and I'm gonna use your word, park apes or simians? Is it about them, or is it about you being slighted, or is it possibly both? So when people ask you, are you a dating hypocrite, what they're saying is, what they mean to say is that your credibility is in question, because you ain't really about the social consequences of out of wedlock birth rate. You are complaining because you were swerved. You understand? So your argument, the perception of your argument, or the way it looks to me and others, is that it's without any real credibility. You just crying because you got hurt. And you said, well, you want revenge. You want revenge because you've been swerved by a woman. Okay, so when you said, well, I guess you answered my question in a roundabout way. You said, well, what man hasn't been slighted? So you want revenge because you've been slighted by a woman. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, but not only that, but let me answer your question.
I got another one. Got to follow up. You want revenge because you've been slighted by a woman.
Yep.
So if you want revenge because you've been slighted by a woman, here's my next question. Were you slighted by the woman for a Pookie and a Ray-Ray?
I might have been.
You might have been. Okay. That's all I wanted to know. You can go ahead, brother. You got
I don't know for certain. I might have been. But here's the thing. Yeah, I don't know for certain. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's both and. Is it the social concerns, or is it the personal concerns? It's both and. Why? Because human mating is both personal and social. There is a social component to human mating. It is. The very fact that black women today on social media demand that black men as a collective provide protection for black women is a case in point. That's a social thing, not a personal thing. Indeed, when I confronted Cynthia G about this over on O'Shea Duke Jackson's channel last year and said what you're doing is wrong-headed because you're not dating, or you're not mating with, or you're not reproducing with the collective of black men, but one black man, at least one at a time. She rejected it out of hand. She wanted a social solution to a personal problem. And the reason why I mentioned Cynthia G is very important because she is like an avatar of so many black women today. She represents a kind of default setting for not all, but a lot of black women today. And that's the reason why I refer to her and other black women over the past few years. So for me, again, it's laid bare. Yes, it's about pussy. Yes, it's about revenge. Yes, it's about being hurt. And yes, it's about the results of the mating decisions that these black women have taken that now pose a national security risk to black America.
National security.
And I don't say that with any hyperbole. I'm dead serious.
That's okay. That's that is a bit that is a bit absurd. But okay, you have a right to your position. You have a right to that position. If that's your position, fine. But my next question is, do you not see, you're saying it's both and, you don't see that those are contradictory ideas. You say, well, you're concerned about the threat to national security. You're concerned about the social cost that it imposes upon the black community. And you turn around and say, oh yeah, if I can't get Big Booty Brenda by 5, I'm gone.
Yep.
Okay. If I can't get Big Booty Brenda by 5, fuck your couch, nigga. Like, baby boy, fuck your fort, nigga. If I can't get Big Booty Brenda by 7 o'clock tonight, I'm not supporting the kids' candy drive. If I can't get this, I ain't buying none of the lemonade. But on the other hand, you don't see how you don't at all see how. I understand you're saying it's both, but my point is you don't see how that's a little bit contradictory by saying, okay, I'm concerned about the community. Then you said, fuck it, I'm out of the community. Right. So if you're not concerned about the community, why would you be concerned about the bastardy?
Well, I'm concerned about all of it because black women, again, we keep running past this point. Black women keep saying, and I know where it comes from. I get it. Don't take anything these women say seriously. That's what you guys would say. That's what quite a few black men would say. Don't take anything black women say seriously. They're just talking. See, I understand the rationale. I get it. But here's my position. Black women, women in general, black women in particular, wanted to be taken seriously. They wanted to be in man world. They wanted to be judged on the same criteria as men. They wanted to be in the workplace. They wanted to be able to make personal and private and political decisions. They have. And now they have to deal with all that comes from it. In man world, you just can't just pop off at the mouth without having to deal with the consequences. Because you might find yourself, especially on the streets, and face down in a pool of your own blood if you ain't careful with your mouth. So for black women, now the time has come for them to align their ass with their mouth. That's what I'm doing with my radio show. They're free to say whatever they want, and they're also free to deal with the consequences. How that will ultimately shake itself out, who knows? I have no idea. But I do know this. The days of black women just popping off without consequence are over. And black women are slowly realizing that. That's it.
Okay. So we've come to the conclusion here that it is both personal for you. So people are correct. And you would say, duh, that when they point out for you, it is personal because, as you said, that the social contract, every man must have his private pussy. But that is your take on the social contract. That is not the actual social contract, but that is your take on it. Agreed? Yep. So what you're saying is that if you don't have your stake in here, you're not concerned. So do you think you should be taken seriously? If you saying I'm out, do you think your claims about the community should be taken seriously if you say you out of the community?
Well, I'm here talking with you, so that answers its own question. Earlier today, I did a show where I averaged, around 600 live listeners for more than 4 hours straight. I've been on the air now nearly 4 years. I have a following. I mean, I think those numbers would suggest that somebody's taking it seriously.
Okay, so let's establish. You're implying the implied answer is yes.
Right.
So we say that. Okay. So can you also imply, or can you also say that your detractors or your interlocutors, as you would say, they would have a point to doubt your sincerity in light of your statements?
Yes, with this caveat. They overplay it or they overstate that point for a very simple reason, that they don't give due weight to the other side of it. Again, mating is just not a personal matter. It's a social matter. No matter what you may think of gay marriage, one way or the other. I'm not promoting it, nor am I detracting from it. I'm just making the point that mating is the gay marriage debate, rather, was a powerful example of a personal decision that had powerful social repercussions. It's both. It's both personal and social. Black women, again, confirm this when they demand that black men protect them. Now, wait a minute. I thought that you had a soldier. Isn't he protecting you? And if not, why? Why are all these quote-unquote soldiers MIA? What's up with that? A lot of black women want mate privileges without mate responsibilities. It don't work like that. If you want mate privileges, you gotta have mate responsibilities. Or put another way, in the way I like to put it, if we ain't fucking,
we get nothing.
You get nothing.
Gets nothing. All right. I got that. So let me ask you this question. My next question is here. And this is the most important. This determines, where you're at as far as I'm concerned. Have you left the black community?
Yes and no. Well, I mean, I know you're gonna trouble with that answer, but yeah, yes.
Boy, yo, you slicker than whale shit, nigga.
Yes,
For real, boy.
yes and no.
Okay, I got to hear this one.
Yeah.
Yes, I've left the black community. If by meant black community is meant the inner city hood. If that's what's meant by black community, then yes, I've definitely left it a long way back. But on the other hand, if by black community is meant what would be considered more middle class, and all the rest of it, then no, I'm very much a member of the black middle class. If by black community is meant black middle class, I mean, there's so many segments of the black community, and Eugene Robinson pointed this out in the book Disintegration, The Splintering Black America. It's tough to nail down by what it's meant by black community if you're not willing to deal with its segmentation in recent decades. So that's the reason why I gave that kind of ambiguous answer.
Okay. So you haven't left the black, you just left a certain segment. So what you're saying, well, here's my next question. If you haven't left black America altogether, if you don't get Big Booty Brenda, are you prepared to leave all of black America?
That's a good question. Because Big Booty Brenda just ain't in the hood.
Okay.
That's the other canard.
But here's
with
my
all due
question.
respect, I am going to answer the question. Yeah, I'm answering the question. With all due respect to my interlocutors, that's another point, a kind of canard that they like to say. The lames or whatever, they want Big Booty Brenda, they want hood rats. No, we want hot chicks. Now you can make of that what you will, but we want hot chicks. We don't want hood rats. We want hot chicks. So, and that's all over the socioeconomic spectrum of Black America. So I just want to clear that up. Now to go to your question, if I were not to be able to get what I want now, for the record, I have a lady friend, but just put her aside for a moment.
Yes.
If I were not able to attain what I wanted, yeah, I'm out.
Okay. So in other words, you got a big booty, Brendan.
Big legs, big booty, small waist, yeah.
Okay. So then you should have no problem then, right? So you stand, right?
Yeah, for the moment.
Okay, you stand for the moment. Okay. Well, first of all, let me clear this up. I love hood bitches. I'm gonna confess, I love hood bitches. And contrary to popular opinion, all hood bitches are not unattractive. There are some very attractive hood bitches.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So,
with that.
and I
Amber
would
Rose
say,
is a case in point.
okay. So what I'm saying is I don't even think she's black, is she? But anyway, I like hood bitches, and what I say is this: y'all like to throw off on hood bitches, but I will tell you this: hood bitches are more honest in their fuckery than the so-called non-hood bitches, because I don't believe in a socio-economic separation in the Black community between women. I don't believe in that. I think they may have different, varying degrees. Their personalities may be different in various surroundings, but when it comes to their actions and the choices and how they react, that shit is largely the same.
I agree. Matter of fact, I would say that Alan Roger Curry spoke to that. Yeah.
I don't see a distinction between, because and that's another thing y'all like to do. Oh, we ain't talking about hood rats, blah, blah. Nigga, hood rats can make $80,000 a year, or they can draw a check for $800 a year. I don't see a distinction because they are not in the hood. I see hood rats in corporate America, and they making damn near six figures. So your salary does not denote that you're not a hood rat. That doesn't automatically rule out you not being a hood rat.
Yeah.
So when I say hood rat, I'm using it affectionately in some sense. Sometimes I use it as a pejorative.
Right.
Sometimes I use it as a compliment.
Yeah.
Because I think
kind of like LL Cool J's classic "Around the Way Girl."
Exactly.
Right.
So when I use that term, it's not necessarily a degrading term. It's a term to show love. Because what I believe in some instances, and you may disagree with this, I think in some instances we had to be hood in order to survive our experience.
Yeah.
The hood nigga is the cockroach that wasn't exterminated in chattel slavery. The nigga is the cockroach, and the hood bitch is the cockroach that refused to die out under the historical oppression of Black people. That tenacity, I'm using it as a synonym for tenacity, perseverance, the will to survive. You had to be a little bit niggerish in order to cope. So I see that as a balance to our personality based on our experience. That's why I don't see hood bitches as a derogatory term necessarily.
Yeah,
I just want to make that point.
Yeah, with me personally, over the course, and you're familiar with at least some of my catalog, over the course of the past 4 years that I've been podcasting, I say relatively little directly about quote unquote hood rats or hood chicks. If anything, the majority of my ire with regard to Black women along class lines would be directed at the solidly middle and upper middle class, if anything. And the reason why is because, as I already indicated, I don't really spend a lot of time in the inner city hood, so to speak. So, and another reason is because I consider hood chicks, their voices aren't the loudest voices in the room when it comes to Black women in what I refer to as Black Vagina Vision Media. It's almost always the solidly middle and upper middle class. So that's where I aim my arrows at them.
Okay. So now here's my question. Because here's the thing. the centerpiece of your discussion, I understand you may need entertainment value. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to vent every discrepancy you've had with anything I've said with respect to you or your platform, because here's how this is going to go from here on out. If I do a podcast, I won't call your name. I won't do it. So now my question is, I want you to, my statement is, or my position is, I want you to vent every single discrepancy you have with my statements, my platforms, and my positions. We can agree to disagree, that's fine. But I want you to vent every single one.
Well, I mean, as a result of this exchange tonight, and I hope this will be a template for future discourse in the Black manosphere overall, I can't really say I have anything to bring to the table off the top of my head right now, because we're sitting here hashing out the issues in real time. So I don't have anything.
So basically we've established that I'm not afraid of you. I hope we've established that, right?
Yeah, we definitely have established that, Tony.
We've established that.
Tony Maceo is not afraid of the old man.
Okay, so let's get that straight. Second issue. This is entertainment for me and my brother. This is what we do for fun. If we make a little bit of money off of it, what the hell? But this is entertainment. I don't like being a petty person. I don't like doing. I really don't. If I have to do the shit they talking about, I really don't like doing it. So I would ask you not to make me do that. So if the issue is resolved and there is no disagreement, and as Michael Corleone said, no conflicts, no debts, no grudges, we good.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact,
However,
I don't see this as petty. Go ahead.
However,
go ahead.
If there is a conflict and there is a grudge, just so you know, so we're clear. Retribution will be mandatory.
Jesus Christ, Tony.
I just want to say that I don't think this is petty at all. I think the conversation, and I know you've been there before, but there are new people coming along all the time. And sometimes looking at things with fresh eyes is a good thing from time to time. I think it's needed and necessary. If my argument is this, and this has been in response to the conscious crowd, the pro-Black crowd, if you will. If we're going to talk about a community is made up of families, and families are made up of couples. And so what are we really talking about when we talk about the Black community? To me, it's about Black couples. Everything flows from that, for better or for worse. So I think conversations like this are needed and necessary. And I want to thank both you, Tony, and Big Mike for the opportunity for having me on.
Oh, man, it's been a pleasure, man. It's good to have format, man, when you ain't got 30 dudes on here trying to jump in and jump out and like cut cats off in mid-sentence. That shit is mad irritating, man. I can't stand that shit, man. Yeah, I had to get you cats on here.
Yeah, I would like to ask, is there any possibility we can do some Q&A or anything like that?
Well, see, I don't have a problem. As my brother said, I don't mind Q&A. Matter of fact, I came on your podcast that morning. You called my name, but I really dread being behind 13 niggas. And that the one nigga that shows the damn means that I just can't. You understand? I can't do that. I can't do that. I have to be in a position to where everything is on the table, everything is simple. People are given an opportunity to respond, and everything is cool. So my question now to you, do you think you've been treated fairly today?
Absolutely. I love it. I think it's always a good thing if we can sit down and hash things out. I think that's good. We need more of that.
Okay.
And I would like to ask Mike if we're going to do Q&A to proceed in this fashion, because I understand where Tony's coming from with this. instead of actually inviting a whole bunch of people on the panel and we kind of have all this cacophony, instead, Mike select questions from the chat crawl, actual questions, not statements, not run on, testimony, but actual concise questions that he selects and he poses to you and I, Tony, and we go around the two for maybe another half an hour or so.
Oh, you mean right now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So if they got a question, they can ask them. If you got a question here, you can ask it. But I just wanted you to know, because you asked me, that was a question why I didn't join you. I can't do 13 niggas in the hangout, dog. I can't.
Yeah, I understand. I
can't do that.
Yeah. Big Mike.
Hey, hold on. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Just gotta address some of these.
Well, first thing we got to do.
What?
We gotta apologize to Angry Man
Yeah.
he not have been blocked. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. He was just he was timed out. Vector had timed him out, and I told Vector leave Angry Man alone. Let Angry Man do what he do when he come over here, because I fucks with Angry Man. You feel me? So I don't know what's going on between him and Angry Man. God damn, but Vector said he gonna leave Angry Man alone and shit if he come back. I don't know. So
we done pissed him off. We're gonna have to go over there and make peace. I'm gonna have to go reload my goddamn prepaid debit card. Give me $20 donation. God damn it, Vector, you cost me $20. I don't have that kind of money right now. A nigga struggling. You cost me $20 to go make peace with this man.
I fucks with Angry Man. I'm like, why? What the fuck going on? There's something personal going on between them two motherfuckers. I don't know, man. But check it out. The chat. If y'all have some questions, once again, go ahead and put them in the chat if you have questions, and I'll read them off. And Tony and Obsidian will try their best to answer them.
Questions, folks. Questions.
Questions.
Because black people, when you open up Q&A, that's a church testify time. They get on the mic and they just testify. It's like open mic. They get on the mic and just testify and everything like that. So I understand why Tony doesn't want to open up the panel. I get it. Believe me, I understand. Questions, folks.
Why can't you unblock that thing? He is unblocked, as far as I know, Albert Bird.
He was only timed out.
Cerulean, I didn't block him. I don't control YouTube, Cerulean. I had nothing to do with it. I'm in another place. I'm not even in the same area, and I told him to unblock Angry Man Cerulean. So I didn't do it, Cerulean. I didn't do it. Like OJ, I didn't do it.
Don't know if I want to use OJ. But yeah.
Well, you have a point there, because anyway, I didn't do it.
Hold on. Let me see here. God damn, this chat moving quicker than some bitch, man. Shit. How do you pause this motherfucking chat, man?
I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, the fellas is gonna have to bear with me, because we new to this goddamn live shit, man.
Yeah, that's why we have never. That's why we really ain't done a whole lot of shit on YouTube, because I don't know shit about YouTube. I don't know. That's why that channel that I put up, I did some videos, but I'm not crisp when it comes to auditing, audio, and all that shit. So I stopped it. My brother's better at that than I am, so I don't do that.
I think Gunsmoke asked Obsidian, if you couldn't get the woman that you, God damn it, man, the chat won't stop. Hold on. Okay. Obsidian, if you couldn't get the woman that you wanted, doesn't that mean you lost in the opening? In the fuck, man, hold on. Obsidian, if you couldn't get the woman that you wanted, doesn't that mean you lost in the open dating market like unattractive black women have?
Sure.
Shit, sure. Not much explanation needed for that, huh? Mm-hmm.
Black Caesar asked me, he said, how was I saying he was socially inadequate? I actually didn't say he was so. I said I didn't need to show my face in order to disguise. I didn't have to be a YouTube celebrity in order to disguise my social inadequacy. inadequacies that was given. That was a statement given because usually what people do is hide behind their their avatars. And my thing is, I've never hid the fact that I'm a jolly nigga, but that don't necessarily mean I want to be personable with none of you niggas on YouTube. The people that know me know me. The people that see me see me. The motherfuckers that need to see me see me, and the motherfuckers that don't don't. And that's what it is.
Mm. Well, angry man just sent the black order over here to regulate. They all in the chat, man. The motherfuckers going off, man. God damn. Hey, man. Shit. Look what you done did, Vector, man. God damn, bro.
They said Angry
Yeah.
Man is going off on me. Why is he going off on me? I didn't say anything bad to him. Well, I don't know what was said, so
Right,
I
right.
don't know.
Mm-mm. Ooh, yeah, well, angry man gonna have to realize, man, is we just new to this shit, man. So, we'll iron all of this shit out about the moderators and the chat, and because I wasn't even looking at the chat, man. If I would have knew that he had got blocked or whatever, well, from what I'm hearing, he didn't get blocked. He just got timed out. I would have
He said,
corrected that.
where do I see the black community in the next 15 years since the environment has changed? And I think the black community will continue to devolve, and I think it will devolve. It will implode to a point where some people will come back in and have to straighten that whole mess out. That's what I think. I think what you're going to see is first we're going to go through a round of prostitution. Go through a round of prostitution, and because at this point we are again, niggas don't want to step up and take care of another nigga's child. They just don't. That's why I say I got 75, because that's the way I can limit my costs. God damn it. You're just not gonna have men that want to step in, and you're not gonna have men that want to step in and take care of somebody else's responsibility. You're not gonna have that. And so dudes are still gonna want to have sex with these women, despite the fact that they've slept with whoever they want to sleep with. These women are still gonna be attractive, even though they're single mothers. But nobody's gonna want to plant their boots under their bed. So they're gonna have to, as Obsidian would say, what is it he says? Horse trade.
Yeah.
Barter. This is what I got, but I'm not coming in. I'm not putting a ring on your finger. Now, is that in every situation? No, I don't think it's in every situation. I think there may be some outliers. Some dudes may marry these chicks, but it ain't gonna be, a whole lot. There will be no white knights coming with wedding rings. I think niggas gonna be coming with a few dollars, some ramen noodles, and a couple of bags of weed, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think anybody is interested in really racing towards that.
Yeah, I agree with that, Tony. For the Mayu of black women you're dealing with, actually, your 75 deal was pretty good.
So this man said, the moderators, he said, you don't block. I specifically told them, do not block him, man. I hope he heard that. I specifically told them not to block him, to unblock him, to unblock him, to unblock him. I told him that. So, I would never block Angry Man. I would never block the Brook. Somebody tell him that. Somebody go tell him that. I would never block the Brooklyn Knight. I would never block the Brooklyn Knight, because if we had a discrepancy, Angry Man is a dude that would come and tell you what the discrepancy was. I wouldn't block the Brooklyn Knight. So
go to his live stream.
Go tell him that. I did not block him. I didn't ask for him to be blocked. I had nothing to do with him being blocked. I had nothing to do with him being timed out.
Do you want the link or something? I mean, he can get the link. Shit.
Give him the link. Give him the link. Give him the link. Get him in here. Get him in here.
I will welcome Angry Man joining us.
Get him in here. Get him in here.
Yeah. Gunsmoke asks for me, why do you feel entitled to hot black women, and how is that any different than black women with a degree that feels entitled to a select black man? That's a very good question. I don't feel entitled to any black woman, for that matter. I don't feel entitled to any woman, period. No woman owes me a goddamn thing. They owe me nothing.
Hey, yo, I need Angry
problem is,
Man's Gmail address. Anybody know Angry Man's email address?
yeah,
Send him
ask
the link.
the angryman@gmail.com, I think.
They asked me, I think Mr. Edmondson asked me,
Oh, okay, there we go. There we go.
did I
Yeah,
think
I
that
was I want to finish
go ahead.
answering this question real quick.
All right.
Black women believe, now black women won't admit this, but their actions say it. Black women believe that black men owe them things because we're all black. Therefore, our mamas are black. Black women gave birth to us. So therefore, all black women are your mama. And so a lot of black women honestly do believe that black men owe them things. Okay? So a lot of black women honestly do believe that they're entitled to what, as I like to put it, to an Idris Elba in every pot. They really do believe that. And they project that out onto black men like me. No, I don't feel entitled to anybody. Nobody owes me anything. But see what black women conveniently leave out, and I just explained why, is the fact that I don't owe them anything either. And hence why we're having this conversation right now, what Alan Roger Curry referred to as the beta male revolution. A lot of black women, it's slowly dawning on them that the in case of emergency break glass guy is no longer on the wall. What are they going to do? That's it.
Yo, I sent him the link, man, in his
Question.
in
What's
his
up?
Gmail.
The question now is he asked me, do I think the poverty in the black community will increase? And the answer is yes. The poverty in black America will continue to increase because black America doesn't have an independent economic infrastructure. We have nothing collectively. There are certain pockets of us, of course, that are successful and influenced. But if you're talking about a community, that's a collective endeavor. You got to have something. And so if there are no areas for us to solve the employment situation, if there are no areas for us to correct the high dropout rate in high school, not in college, in high school. So, what's the natural result of that? The natural result of that is niggas getting locked up. The natural result of that is more hood niggas going to prison. What's the result of that? There's more poverty with that. That's a part of the game that comes with the game. So you're gonna have more, and that just means my 75 is gonna go that much further.
That's like I said. I think personally, I think it's brilliant that he should like trademark it or put it on a T-shirt or something. I think it's brilliant that and I think for the milieu of black women that Tony has chosen to pursue, I think it's probably one of the better deals a black woman living in the inner city cores of black America is going to get. To be brutally frank, that the prospects are pretty bleak. Victor Costin says, Obsidian, do you think a black man can be too effective? It seems the more effective, the more isolated we become. There's a measure of truth to that. Black women, this isn't relegated to the hood, so to speak. Black women pretty much across the board prize physical appearance, personal charisma, what researchers call the dark triad of Machiavellian behavioral traits, along with what I refer to as being conspicuously handsome. Black women behavioral traits prize place of importance on these things ahead of competence, character, integrity, even earning potential.
Yo,
black women do. They just do.
Yo.
Yeah, go ahead.
Check this out.
man.
Check this out. Check this out.
Where's Angry Man at? Angry Man.
Hold on. Check this out. Before y'all say anything, you cannot do a hangout and not look at the chat room. You can't. You cannot. And the reason why you cannot, you got niggas in the chat room not only trolling me, but fucking doxing me.
Doxing you?
They've been doxing me the entire time y'all been talking. You got goofy niggas in there putting my real name in the chat room. And that fuck boy Victor 313 allowing that shit. Since I came in that motherfucker, I came in here with my regular account and I was like, yo, tell Mac that he got feedback and he got to turn off this and turn off that. That nigga blocked me for saying that. And then when I put my new account, in that bitch, he blocked that one. Then I came back with the third one, and that's when y'all started noticing it, and he tried to pretend like he didn't block me. And then I went live so that I could get my fucking audience to come in the chat room and flood the chat room. So when they flooded the chat room, he started blocking everybody from my goddamn audience. Most of the fucking black orders blocked. And then he allowed fucking pussy ass Kenneth Thomas and the rest of the goddamn trolls to sit in the chat room, troll the fuck out of me, and dox me.
So who was doing the doxing? Who was it?
It's a bunch of different niggas. You see him right there, right now. Fucking because your man is not doing his job. He in there, he got a personal vendetta with me from back when he was on fucking BGS's channel.
Okay. Wow, man. All right, then. Shit. Like I said, we new to this, man. I had no idea.
You didn't block Kenneth, Vector. You full of shit, my nigga. You full of shit, my nigga. I ain't never in a million motherfucking years let nobody dox nobody on my fucking channel. And I ain't never, and Victor, your motherfucking ass, I'm gonna tell you something, nigga. You might have a goddamn problem with me, but this shit you did in here today, nigga, is some straight fuckboy shit, nigga. You can sit there and pretend like you ain't doing shit, nigga, but you a fuckboy, my nigga. And if I ever saw you in person, I would beat your ass into the fucking ground. And for that nigga to keep doxing me, you better pray we never meet in real life, nigga. You playing a real dangerous fucking game.
Yo, what's the name of the nigga that's dropping the docs?
He said Kenneth Thomas.
It's a bunch of niggas. It's a bunch of niggas. It's Kenneth, and then it's Kenneth with numerous fucking accounts jumping in the chat room.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's make this real simple.
Fuck.
If anybody, Vector, if you see anybody in here doxing this man, get him up out of here. If you see anybody in here doxing this man, get him up out of here. So let me say this, angry man. I'm YouTube illiterate. You hear me?
I'm listening.
YouTube illiterate. I don't have a wrench. I don't know how to do that shit. I did hear you when you came up here and you told us that the feedback was there. That's how I knew it was there, because you said it. Now, I specifically said that you were not to be blocked. I
heard you. I heard you when you said it, but here's the thing. Okay. When you said that shit, that nigga proceeded to block me. And this was his excuse. Because I went in the chat room and I said, yo, my other accounts are still blocked. I was on backup accounts. I said, my other accounts are still blocked. And so he blocked me for that. And then he said, well, I'm blocking him because what he's saying isn't pertaining to the debate. And then proceeded to let motherfucking trolls and shit take over the chat room and talk about nothing but me. Them niggas wasn't saying nothing about the fucking debate. They was talking about me the whole goddamn time in the chat room.
Here was the rules of good housekeeping. If anybody came in here and didn't know how to act a fool, that didn't know how to act right, and it was cutting a fool and talking slick and talking greasy, they were supposed to be up out of here. I said that from the gate. And so I'm going to say it now. Anybody that is doxing Kenneth Thomas, get him out of here. Anybody that is doxing this man, get him up out of here. Get him up out of here. Kenneth Thomas, you said Kenneth Thompson or Thomas Angerman? Is that his name?
Something like that.
Get him up out of here.
I don't even see his name in this motherfucker, man.
Get him up out of
here. Now that I'm on here, Vector gonna pretend like he blocked him, but he didn't. That nigga, see that right there? See that right there for black righteous folks home? That's Kenneth too.
Get him up out of here. Get him up out of here. Get him up out of here. Get him up out of here.
Y'all, look, here's my thing, my nigga. I can't tell y'all what to do with y'all channel. I can't. You feel what I'm saying? But if it were me, I wouldn't let that nigga Vector have no goddamn wrench. That nigga done lost his goddamn mind. That nigga's crazy. Like real shit. That nigga's crazy. Like this is not like that shit ain't even fucking funny to me. Like if this wasn't the internet, if this was niggas in person, I put hands on Vector right now. I'm over here breaking shit.
That's not good. That's not good. That's not good.
That's just crazy. Like, look, I could tell y'all wasn't looking at the chat room. Because I was like, there's no way they see this shit in the chat room. I knew y'all wasn't. I knew y'all was into the conversation. You feel what I'm saying? And I get that. You feel me? But your man Vector, he's supposed to be holding down the chat room instead of living out his power trip personal vendettas. Like I be on other people's channels. I got personal vendettas too. I don't do that shit to niggas. I be on other channels with a wrench. Don't be fucking doing that shit to niggas.
Right. Man, shit.
Yeah, we don't as long we don't have a problem with people disagreeing or dissenting, but if you're in here and you're not, you're greasy and you in here, just all blah and you out of pocket, you gotta go.
Shit.
Because I seen this shit. I seen like I was doing my live stream and somebody came into my live stream and I was like, yo, is anybody else doing any live streams right now? And they was like, yo, Tony Maceo and Obsidian supposed to have a one-on-one on Mackcity Limits. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna go check that out. So I posted it on my community tab. So it was already gonna be a bunch of niggas from my fan base over here.
And then you get blocked.
And so they came over here and most of them got blocked.
Damn.
Oh man, yeah, man. Damn. Well, my apologies to you, player, man. I don't know what's going on between you and Vector, but Vector, that's my partner, man. And typically, he about the right thing. I don't know what's going on with your homeboy, man. Yeah. So,
question: you didn't go in too deep on us on your live, did you?
No, I was hoping y'all was watching. I was screaming at y'all niggas saying, "Look at the chat." You feel what I'm saying? I was telling niggas, yo, go in the chat room and tell them to look at my live stream. Look at my live, because I couldn't say nothing in the chat. So the only way y'all could see what was going on is if you clicked on my live stream and heard me screaming at you. Look at the chat. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going the fuck off like, yo, these niggas like, look, I don't mind. Look, here's my thing with the trolls. Niggas can troll all goddamn day. I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? Trolling is trolling.
Wait. Hold on. What is this sensitivity? They should call him tender man. Get him up out of here. Get him up out of here. P-chat and radio. Get him up out of here. Get him up out of here.
And see, and Mac, all you gotta do, fam, as far as like the blocking shit, all you gotta do is when you go into your YouTube settings, you just click on the community tab.
Oh, okay.
And on the community tab, it'll be a little sector that has the blocked accounts, and you just gotta X them out so that they're not blocked no more, and then hit save.
Okay. I got you.
Now here's the next quick. Obsidian you got a question from Gunsmoke. Did you see that?
Yeah. But before I get to that, you had a question from Money Cash.
What did he say?
He says, "What is my 75?" I don't think people understand what you mean by I got 75. So you might want to consider explaining it.
Here's what I'm saying. Let me explain this. I know this is gonna shock some and delight others. I have a weakness for hood bitches. I love hood bitches. Love them to death. But it's my way of limiting my expenses. And when I say I got 75, that means that's about as much. I may give them a tip if I get good customer service. That's a term we use, and when me and Mac talk about power trick. And that's the term we use. I got 75. In other words, look, you're not coming here and get cashed out, but what you will come in here and get. Let's make this exchange. Let's horse trade. Okay. You need some bread. I need I need a release. So come on down. This is what I got. After you get this, you go. I won't call you no more. You don't call me no more. Get out. East is east, west is west. Never the twain shall meet until we hook up again. Now, with that being said, a lot of times the value And when I said that, I need to clarify. A lot of times dealing with people in the street, dealing with hood chicks, or dealing with people in the street, your value to them a lot of times is not necessarily about money. It's about, as Obsidian would say, your skill set, your knowledge, your brain power. And because they come to me because I got experience with helping niggas fight child support. I got experience with helping niggas fight the state. I got experience with helping niggas beat the state. I got experience with showing niggas how to escape a lot of the traps that they fall into out here, if it be corporate America, if it be the police, or so forth and so on, that's my value to them. So when they deal with me, there's a relationship with me already there. I'm just saying, don't expect me to do what your nigga won't. Okay? Your nigga won't step in and solve all your problems for thousands of dollars. Don't expect me to do it. But what I will do is I'll give you this, and I'll give you a little bit of counseling, a little bit of game, and that's about it. And we keep this relationship pushing.
Y'all mind if I address something real quick about
Angry Man. I'm sorry. Hold on. Hey, you said go to community and go where?
Go to the community tab. Hold on. Let me go with you because I'll be forgetting myself. You go to all right, you click on community, and then there's a hold on. Under the community tab, there's a what the fuck? Hold on.
Subscribers, community settings.
Community settings.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, community settings.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You see where all the people at?
Yeah, I see. Yeah,
you kind of you exit out, and then once you X those joints out,
Okay, Angry Man Channel 2. I push on the X. That means you have been reinstated. You have been unblocked.
Yeah, once you X the joints out,
okay,
you still gotta, after you get all of them, then you gotta hit save at the top.
I got
or
you.
it won't do it. You feel me?
Right.
But what were you gonna say, bro?
Oh yeah, let me address this. Jasmine Watson is in the chat room saying that Angry Man is a snake because Angry Man was calling out Obsidian earlier, and Angry Man watch out for Obsidian, watch out for Angry Man stabbing you in the back. First of all, earlier I did a live stream saying I'm sick and tired of the Pookie Ray-Ray argument. Okay, that's what I said. And when somebody was like in the chat room saying, yo, I thought you and Obsidian is cool, I said specifically in that video, me and Obsidian are still cool. I said, me and Obsidian know how to have the argument or have the debate without getting too personal. Every once in a while we get personal, but a lot of you niggas is new. So you don't really know the dynamics of me and Obsidian's relationship. Me and Obsidian went back and forth for like 6 months last year.
Yeah, you did.
About this very topic. Okay?
Yeah.
Obsidian know how I feel about this topic. I know how Obsidian feel about this topic. But I still have mutual respect for Obsidian for the simple fact that he knows how to have a debate and not take it to the point where it's like, oh, Angry Man must hate me. Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, I feel the same way. So, I mean, as a matter of fact, we're not really, although Angry Man is addressing the debate, he's really saying something different from what I'm saying.
Exactly.
See, I'm addressing black women.
Well,
exactly. I'm addressing the dudes. I'm addressing the piece of it, the part of it where it comes from improvement or moving forward. That's what I'm addressing.
Speaking of improvement, I got to get another suit and pair of shoes because I got to treat myself today. So, huh?
Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead.
And this is going to be a really nice one too. This is going to be a gray pinstripe Ralph Lauren. Nice.
Go ahead.
Let me get to Gunsmoke. He says,
you ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna do it.
Do what?
Thank you.
Oh yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah,
right.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me of that. Thank you. Yes. Gunsmoke says, Obsidian, since you admitted to being a loser in the open dating market, doesn't that make your opinion about black relationships compromised out of bitterness? This is a very good question. First of all, just because one is a loser today does not necessarily mean they will be a loser tomorrow. And conversely, just because one is a winner today does not automatically follow that they will be a winner tomorrow. And this is especially true with men. Women, it's a bit different for reasons we don't need to get into right here. But for men in particular, it's a very fluid situation, or at least can be, depending on various factors. Just because I struck out, 30 years ago, didn't mean that I continually struck out in the years since. So there's that. As for the idea that my opinions about black relationships somehow being tainted or not being valid because of bitterness, no. And the reason why I say that is because lots of black women have opinions about relationships, some of whom make a very good living at it and have for many years. I'm looking at you, Oprah. Is her opinion compromised out of bitterness? I can't tell. She's a billionaire. So, and that's just one example of many, big and small. I think people resonate with the opinions of others based on many factors, and bitterness has very little to do with it. As a matter of fact, I would argue that many would attempt to use bitterness to discount my argument instead of looking at the facts, the empirical evidence, and data, which I have exhaustively mentioned for 4 years now.
But see, here's the thing. That's always been my whole point. My point has always been that this is not a sprint; it's a marathon. It's always been our solution here. That's not. Excuse me. That's always been our position here. That it's not a sprint; it's a marathon. And so, therefore, I wasn't concerned about Pookie and Ray. I mean, I deal with those cats every day. They come to me for some type of counsel every day. So I know, again, that all niggas on the street are not created equal.
I agree.
Especially this new generation. Angry Man comes from another generation where they had rules. These niggas out here are fools. You understand what I'm saying?
Now. They ain't got no rules now.
They're fools. So for anybody to suggest or for anybody to attempt to give them shine after I see them every day, I see what happens when they ball up and let the police take their money. I see what happens when they fold up in the courtroom. Whenever I'm dealing with the OGs, it's never a problem. Right. It's never a problem. It's always when I'm dealing with these idiots that these women find so irresistible. And what I'm saying, okay, I know how that ends. I know what happens. You're going to be at my door. My 75 going to be waiting when you get here. I'm going to be waiting with my 75 when you show up. I know how this turns out. So you're not my competition. You're not even relevant to me. You're not even relevant to me. I don't see you as my competition. I see you as prey. I see you as a victim because I see how they do you. I see how they fold you up. See, for me, if they come for me or Matt, we will fight the system every time. We're not going. So why do you fold up and let them do it? You know, you got balls when it comes to another nigga. You got balls when it comes to somebody that look like you. But what about them? So to me, you're weak. You're no competition to me. You're no competition to me for pussy or anything else. So to me, it's useless for me to sit up here and go on about Pookie and Ray-Ray. It's useless. I don't care. I don't care. One way or the other, I don't care.
Gunsmoke keeps coming back with good questions. All y'all other people need to come up with some good questions in the chat. But until then, Gunsmoke is the man. Gunsmoke says, Obsidian, didn't you admit to being out for revenge on your live stream yesterday? Yes, I did. If you lost in the open dating market, why should anybody take your critique of black women serious? They shouldn't. Instead, they should take the glaring evidence that's right in front of their face. Let me see. Ask another question. If I can find it real quick. He says, Obsidian, are you still out for revenge for the women that rejected you, like you said in your live stream before yesterday? Yep. As a matter of fact, every day that I get on the air is just one more notch on the belt. And I love that shit.
Concrete Rose said, and Obsidian, you have an admirer now, by the way. I hope you know that.
I'm about to get up out of here because I can't deal with the fucking goofy shit in the chat room, yo.
What is this? What is this now?
Vector's not doing what he's supposed to do. I'm just about to get up out of here. Here's the thing. He's in the chat room talking about I couldn't wait 300 seconds. Dude, you blocked all of my fucking accounts. Mac just went in to join and saw my name in there. So you know I'm not lying.
Right.
He blocked all of my joints, fam. And you still letting niggas troll me. There's a nigga in here right now. Angry man is a coward. Angry man, let your hat. All this goofy shit. Look. This is what
we're gonna iron out. Yeah, we're gonna iron out this mod shit, you know what I mean? And in future, shows, you know what I mean? This is the first shit, man. Look,
shout out to Vector. Look at this goofy shit. And that's Kenneth. Him and Vector are cool. He's sitting there trying to act like, oh, Angry Man brought his trolls over here. No, I didn't. Kenneth watches everybody in the manosphere. He's been part of the manosphere.
Who is Kenneth? Who is this? I don't know. Who is he?
He's a goofy nigga that used to watch me and then got mad. He's my true Freeman. That's what he is. He's my fucking whatever the fuck that troll is that's obsessed with Tommy. He's my version of that shit. You feel what I'm saying? Right. Fucking JB back. But it's all good though. Cause look, Vector, check this out, homeboy. Your name is Mud on any fucking channel where I have a wrench or anybody in the Black Order has a wrench. Just know that, nigga. Just know that. You being real cute over here, my nigga. But trust and believe. My reach is far on this motherfucker. Watch. You wasn't on my radar before, pussy, but you are now.
Jesus Christ.
God damn, boy.
Yo, I'm gonna holler at y'all later, Tony.
All right, Angry Man.
Mac.
All right, man.
Because I don't want to make a show about me. I gotta leave so they'll chill the fuck out. But I'll holler at y'all, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right, peace.
Tony, you were saying something about Concrete Rose?
Yeah, Concrete Rose said that she said that black people weren't taught to fight the system because they can't win. Well, I don't know what you've been taught, but I've been taught. My father taught me that even if you get your ass kicked, you still have to fight. Because if nothing else, the person will go somewhere else next time. So I don't know what you've been taught, but that's not what we do over here. And so I don't excuse that. I don't excuse cowardice in any form. I don't excuse cowardice in any form. You understand? So I don't know what that is. Obsidian, that's your admirer. So
I don't know why anybody else is not asking questions, but I'll take a few more. Gunsmoke says, Obsidian, why did you say that you're jealous because Pookie got Big Booty Brenda pregnant, but you didn't? You wouldn't be compatible with Big Booty Brenda anyway. I don't recall ever making that statement. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Get this sub to Super Saiyan. Angry Man ain't even in the room no more. Angry Man ain't even in the room no more. Get him up out of here. Get him up out of here. This Super Saiyan, get him up out of here. Get him up out of here. Sub to Super Saiyan Jim. Get him up out of here, please. All right. So, again, we were doing questions and answers or whatever. Okay, so I have a question. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Ask you this. If let's say and I know you got a lady friend right now. I know you got a lady friend
Yep.
right now.
Right.
You come across the things that you like. You come across the woman that you want to see and all of this and all of that. And you find out maybe she doesn't have a baby. Maybe she doesn't have a baby.
Right.
But she's been with a Pookie and Ray-Ray. Does that automatically disqualify her in your eyes?
It definitely can.
It definitely can. Okay. Yeah. But she doesn't have a baby, but that would automatically disqualify her. Would you mind explaining why that would disqualify her?
Well, I mean, the devil's in the details. I would have to find out more information, but just based on the information that you've given, yeah, it can definitely do it. I mean, if a woman had been with an axe murderer, right? I'm just using an extreme example. If she had been with an axe murderer, killed, a dozen people with an axe in the neighborhood, would I still get with that woman? No.
Okay.
Even if she didn't have a kid. Okay. By said axe murderer.
Axe murderer. So what you're saying is there are some based on the details, there are some situations where you wouldn't want to deal with her.
Right. Because as you rightly pointed out, there is variation among street guys. We'll use that euphemism. Among street guys, there is variation. Some are relatively harmless. They may be a nuisance or incompetent, but they're not really a danger to anybody. And then there are others who are just straight up, psychopaths. Right. So, there's a broad range in there.
I mean, but she got the big ass though, right? I mean, yeah, that's what it's all about, is busting a splendiferous nut. Is that how it go? So
that's true. That is a powerful lure. I would have to marshal all of my powers of self-control not to do it.
Oh, okay.
It would take a major effort.
It would take a major effort. Okay.
Anti-Gravity 74 says, Obsidian, why dwell on the past? There are millions of black women who will be compatible to you. That seems to me that same question could be applied not only to black women, but also to black people. I mean, why do black people dwell on history? Dwell on slavery.
Well,
dwell on Jim Crow. That was the past.
Personally speaking, let me speak to that. I think history has a lesson to teach people. I think that as you pointed out on one of your podcasts, if people don't learn from history, they're doomed to repeat it. So it's not from the point of dwelling on history from the point we want to live there. We look at history because we want to learn something from it, and it has a way of informing the present. So when people say, well, history is important, it is important. Now, if you're talking about women, I actually think that you need to know to a certain extent who a person is. I believe in that. I don't let it bother me because it's my choice whether or not I'm going to deal with that person. Right. It's my choice whether or not I'm going to fuck with them. But I would like to know what kind of dude you've been hanging around, because to me, chicks generally take on the temperament of the niggas they hang around.
Right.
You understand? So I need to know that. I need to know how grimy. I need to know all that shit. I need to know if you with a nigga that's a dope dealer. I need to know if you with a nigga that's a pickpocket. I need to know if you with, a nigga that is a serial killer or murder. I need to know that because that tells me something about you.
Yeah. Gunsmoke says, Obsidian, why take a man out for revenge against being rejected by women seriously, especially when talking about black family issues? Good question. Number one, my response is two-part. Number one, when do black people, in this case black women, take any black man seriously when it comes to family issues that don't tell them what they want to hear? There are plenty of black men who have successful relationships, and unless they tell black women what they want to hear, they ain't gonna take them seriously either. And number two, you don't have to listen to me, listen to the evidence. The evidence speaks for itself. That's what I would say. Let me see. No more questions, looks like. Listen, I want to thank both you, Big Mike, and you, Tony, for having me on here. It's been great. I got to get off of here and get something to eat.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Peace.
All right, man. Take it easy, bro. Tony.
Yes, sir.
God damn it. I'm a motherfucker smack the shit out of Vector.
Yeah, and now this nigga done came back in
What
here.
the fuck wrong Vector, man? Man, I'm trying to tell you, boy. Vector, he can't act right, man.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, you can't. See, here's the
This
thing.
nigga.
Whatever
Yeah.
thing you got with him, go see him, man. We can't make enemies out of people for no reason, man. It's not about
what the
being
fuck going on, man?
fanboy or back. Now it's the situation that I'm not the type of dude where I make enemies with people. I don't do that, man. I just don't do that. So
Hell nah,
this
man.
other dude,
Kenneth Thomas.
yeah,
That
this
you talking
Kenneth
about?
Thomas, yeah, he's back
Right.
in here now. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So and he got as his name Grandmaster Troll. I mean, come on.
Okay.
So no, man, no, I don't want that. You know. So it's the situation is I can't, you know, I can't do that, man. I'm not about creating adversaries. Cause see, when it's time for me to go to, I'd be dead serious, man.
Yeah.
And if it's time for me to go to, and if you go to war, you don't go to war on bullshit. You understand? If you have to collide with people, you don't collide with people over bullshit. And that's not what I do. I don't create enemies unnecessarily. That ain't my bag. You see what I'm saying? So what we may have to do, we may have to seriously look at some point. We may have to at some point look at. I don't know.
We definitely need more mods, of course. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so at one point, Pharaoh was a mod. Shit, make Pharaoh a mod because he was a mod. Shit, man.
We definitely have to have some more mods because again, you know, this is shit I do. You know, 11 niggas trolling and I can't do that shit. You understand? I can't do that shit. I can't do it. I can't do it. You know? So Obsidian is carrying on his love affair right now.
Okay.
Concrete Rose. And Black Caesar, what was your question? I didn't see what your question was. What was your question? What was your question? What was your question? Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm whatever this thing is rap. Like I said, I don't intend to mention his name, period. And I don't want him mentioning my name in a confrontational manner. And it's done. That's what it is. We just agree to disagree. I'm not concerned about Pookie and Ray. I don't care. This shit don't bother me. Because at the end of the day, I'm still gonna put my nuts in their mouth. At the end of the day, I'm still gonna get what I want, and I'm gonna get it for $75 or whatever price I set at. So I'm not interested in those dudes. I'm not. That shit just don't.
Did you read what Black Caesar said?
What did he say? Based on your personal observations, Obsidian's personality, history of women, would you explain what the Obsidians of the world should do in order to get the best women? Look, man, I've told you before, man, time is my friend. I'm going to tell you what I do. I can't tell you what he would do. Here's the thing, man. Those dudes out there that people are talking about, those dudes are short-winded. They're irresponsible. Most of them are irresponsible. Most of them are fucking stupid as hell. They're going to fuck up that bitch's life on purpose. You understand? So the truth is you really don't have to do much because he's going to do everything. That's the insanity of the whole goddamn system. That's the insanity of the whole system. Because what's going to happen is he going to send her back to you. He going to send her back to you by being himself, using his own nature against him. He going to fuck up. He going to do all that shit. He's going to make that woman come back to you for little or nothing. Because at the end of the day, they're going to come back to good old Uncle Mike because they know good old Uncle Mike is responsible. You understand? They're going to come back to good old Uncle Mike for the basic shit because they know they can depend on good. That's your hole. That's what puts you on. The fact that you lame, quote unquote lame, that's what puts you in the game. So my answer is that if you're a straight-laced dude, you don't have to be a fool. You don't have to be a fool. You don't have to be a dupe. All you have to do is be yourself and understand game when you see it. You know, that nigga gonna fuck up her life. It's just what he do. It's just what they do. It's how they get down. He gonna fuck up her life. It's what it is. So hold your position. Because they're coming. They're coming. They don't have a choice. They're coming. Now, I wouldn't do what Obsidian do. Obsidian's like, well, I want to humiliate them. I want them to confess. Well, okay. Well, you do all that confession later. For now, take your clothes off. You understand? I'm interested in the objective. I'm not interested in all that other shit. I know what that is. When she come to my door, her head is already bowed. She's already been broken. She's already agreed to submit to my program. You understand? And that's why you can't get rid of them. They're going to come back every time, you see. And I'm really not the one. That nigga over there, Mac, he worse than me. I mean, he fucking bitches with vending machine money. You know, bitches coming back to him with vending machine money. You know, he giving bitches ham sandwiches and chicken wings and shit. And all that shit, getting off all kind of shit for food. Mac is tricking with food now. That's how bad it's gotten now. He tricking with food. He ain't really giving out cash. He just feeding bitches. You understand?
Shit. Hey, man, all I can say this week has been crazy, man. I had 5 of them. Well, actually, the past 2 weeks, man.
Yeah. Gyros and banana peels. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, man, shit. And, you know, like I said, boy, you know, I just go ahead and give them that counseling session, man. They love to talk, man. They love to have somebody listen to them. I'm like, boy, a lot of cats, man, you know, they take that as an insult, man. But, you know, me and Tony, we use that shit as a weapon, man. We use that shit to the point where, you know, they can't goddamn, what's a good word I'm looking for, man? They can't get by without having that sort of action, man. They always want to come over. But, of course, you know, what we do, though, you know what I mean? Our non-sexual companionship ain't free. You going to have to come over here. You going to have to make a sandwich. You going to have to, you know, crack them cheeks open or something.
What is it you always say, Mac? You gotta pay the toll to the troll, bitch.
Yeah, I'll listen to you talk about that nigga, but you know it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you. I don't know if you prepared to pay what the cost is. Yeah, I feel you, girl. Yes, he's a scoundrel. Yes, I know. Just like you know how many females I done had give me sloppy toppy where they got black eyes and busted lips from that nigga that beat her up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, this nigga, he is not gonna be the only one to capitalize off this broad misery. You ain't gonna come over here bleed all over me and play me like a chump. That ain't gonna happen. Nah, man. And you know, to a lot of cats that sound real hardcore, that sound real douchebaggery, man. But you know, that's what they respond to, man. You know what I mean? That's what keep them coming back. Like I told you, the worse I treated them, you know, the more they like me, and the better I treated them, the more they shit on me. So y'all got to go ahead and understand that dynamic, man. That formula, man. That's real shit.
It's but the thing is again the ego. See, a lot of niggas can't get past their ego. Well, I need you. No, all that shit ain't necessary because in the final analysis, it's about the end game. It's about the outcomes and the end games. So it's to me, it's just really about getting what I need, accomplishing the objective, and again, that nigga gonna do most of the work for you. And then here's the good part. He going to jail. That's the good part about it. He going to jail. You ain't gonna have to do shit. What did the side trickster say? Dude, it would be so cool if he just went back to jail. And I'll be damned, it wasn't 6 months later. And he was back in jail. You understand?
Man. I got baby daddies picking their broad up from my apartment, man. Ain't that some crazy shit?
And they hate that nigga. They hate the motherfucker.
They hate my guts, man.
You know.
They hate my guts, man. I got they broad over here putting in that work. They picking her up from my apartment. And they know where I live. They know it's me. You know what I'm saying? They know it's me, nigga. Like, don't come over here acting stupid, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. So yeah, hey, it's all about building a better mousetrap, fellas, man. Don't let nobody tell you, man, that there's not more than one way to skin a cat. There definitely is, man. Shit. Mm-hmm.
And that was a Pookie nigga. He was a Pookie.
Oh, hell yeah. One of the worst ones.
One of the
That
worst
nigga,
ones.
you know, beat niggas senseless and shot him, and boy, that nigga, he real about that life, man.
And picking his
Selling.
bitch up from the house of a trick.
Well, you know, the thing is, right about now, he's come to the realization, right, that he stopped putting her on a pedestal. So what I think he's done right now, even though that's his baby mama, I think he pimping her out. He's come to the realization that she ain't good for nothing else now. You know what I mean? I think he going ahead and he just pimping her out right about now, man. You know what I mean? But even before he was on that shit, you know, he really loved her, man, and he was real mad at me about a lot of shit I was doing with her, man. He swore up and down he gonna kill me. He swore up and down he gonna kill me if you ever see me. But right about now, since she done been ran through the ringer, I think he done just said, fuck it, man. It is what it is. And he gonna get whatever he can out of her. Even though he got, like, I ain't gonna say how many kids, you know, because that might tip off. You know, there's a lot of local niggas listen to this shit, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to get home, girl. You know, shit. Well, no, I can't. Well, I can't let her get her beat up because he knows she over here. You know what I mean? But still, I'm trying to keep her business low key. It ain't necessarily about him. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's a crazy game, man. Ain't nobody safe, and all this Pookie and Ray-Ray and educated lame shit. It's all an illusion. None of that shit mean nothing. You know what I mean? If you want it, go get it, man.
Yeah,
shit.
that's what it is. That's what it's about. He said, hey, Tony, so do you think guys are too focused on female validation from the wrong for the wrong female? I do think guys are focused on getting females. I do think guys are, in some instances, too focused on getting females. Again, I really believe that not every nigga is entitled to a bitch above his ability to get her. I really do think that some niggas would be happier if they stayed in their lane. But can I force them to do that? No. But I think what will happen is that the relationship itself will speak for that. Because when you step outside of your lane and you want that validation from them females, it never ends out good. You're going to wind up getting set up. You're going to wind up getting played. You're going to wind up getting swerved. Something is going to wind up happening to you if you with a bitch you ain't supposed to be with. I give you an example. It's a bitch that love Mac dirty draws. She just as shysty as the day is long, but with him, she like a little house cat. With him, she like a little house cat. She come over there, what you doing? Shit, what's up? What's popping? You see what I'm saying? You know, so with him, that's the bitch for him to be with. But me and that bitch is like oil and water. I don't have any business around her. I shouldn't be around her. You understand? Because I don't mix well with her. We don't vibe. Our temperaments are different. You see what I'm saying? And then some of it was because of the bass. But anyway, we don't jive well. So I don't need to be fucking with her and trying to break her down because she ain't in my wheelhouse, but she's in his. So she's in his wheelhouse. Over there is where she belongs. So yeah, it's important to know who you dealing with and understand who you dealing with. So if it can't be explained any clearer than that, I don't know what to tell you.
Boy. Woo. You know, water seeking its own level. There's something to be said for that, man. Because, you know, the coldest broad I ever had, as far as I was concerned, was Donna. And, man, I did not really like walking around with her, man, because it was always somebody trying to holler at her, somebody always trying to get with her. You know, I was on high alert, man. It's like I almost got in like 8-9 fist fights over this bitch, man. You know what I'm saying? Because dudes was just, I mean, they was at her, man. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know if I like being around, you know, with a broad that's super cold, man. You know what I mean? If I get me a regular chick You know what I mean? And somebody trying to spit at it, I don't too much give a fuck. You know what I mean? But when you walking around with a dime piece, nigga, you know what I mean? I'm like, bruh, that's too much pressure, man. I don't like that shit.
Mac, I see we got one of these niggas in the room. He said, Pookie needs your money too. I see Pookie is the pimp. So I guess what he's saying is
Uh-huh.
Pookie is pimping us. It's always one. It's always
Uh,
It's always one.
see, but he don't know the history. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he don't know my history. He don't know the dude. You know what I mean? I mean, dig. He was tying the broad up, trying to kill her and drown her. You know what I mean? Before he so-called got on this pimp shit because he was in his feelings that the bride was coming to see me. You know what I mean? And not to mention the fact that, of course, I had her putting in work online, and I was actually the first one to actually physically pimp on her. You know what I mean? Through doing parties and shit while he was locked up. You know what I mean? So, hey, everybody get their turn to burn. I originally pimped on her. You know what I'm saying? On some real shit, on some cyber hustle shit. You know what I mean? While he was away, he done came back, found out she was fucking with me. He started whooping her ass, trying to kill her, drown her, tie her up, also, put her in the hospital, cracked her face open and shit. You know what I mean? But she still came to see me.
Put in a
Say
coma.
what?
Put in a coma.
Put her in a coma. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, who's the real pimp and who's the real simp here? I'm not mad because she going to see some nigga. He mad because she coming to see me. So who's the real pimp and who's the real simp here? I made something to think about there, man. I ain't got my feelings involved in this shit. That nigga got his feelings involved with the broad, man. Shit, I was getting my money. Now it's his turn to get the money because I guess he feel, fuck it. You know what I mean? She done did what she did. She done played me to the left far too many times fucking with this nigga. So I may as well do what he do. I may as well get some cheese, get some ends off of her because, I'm not the only dude that, she putting in work with. You know what I mean? And so I'm pretty sure he pimping on her. I'm pretty sure because he way too cool with the situation now, man. Before, every time he heard my name, he would split her wig, you know what I mean? But it's all good now. So yeah, he pimping on her now. And I ain't mad at him. Shit, nigga, get your money.
Well,
But I'm not the one crying though. If you feel me?
I think what he was trying to say is he pimping him by getting that little change. If he doing that's some piss po pimping. If a nigga's pimping on you for a sandwich and that really says something about his pimping. If he got a pimp on that bitch for some French fries and a cheeseburger, I think it's something wrong with his pimping. You understand? So, and then he asked me, his next question was, hey, where's my dream girl if she's existed? I've had my dream girl. My dream girl was this 6'2" stripper. She's in jail now. She's a lawless bitch. She's in jail now. Chocolate, dark-skinned bitch with a nice booty and nice little titties. I had her, and you remember Cash?
Yeah.
I had her and Cash in the threesome. So that's my fantasy girl. I've done what I wanted to do. You understand? So that's my fantasy girl. Pharaoh Edmondson said, what's this? Who is this simp? The nigga that uses her for what she is, or the nigga holding? Oh, okay, that's this one. Okay. He said, the question, he said, so Trump for 2020, I see nobody beating him. I don't see anybody beating him either, but hell, I won't be voting for him, but I don't see anybody beating him. So yeah, Pharaoh Edmondson, yeah, I think he's going to get another term. Joe Biden is out there. From what I understand, he's threw his hat in the ring, but I don't really see anybody beating him. He said, what do you think of the ladies of the 1950s? I think it was a different era. I think they were largely women that understood family more. I think they understood certain rules of having a family and holding a family together. I think that their morals were different, and I really think their morals were supreme. They understood the big picture. The old school ladies understood the big picture. So that's what I think of them. The game is changed, and y'all don't even know about the triple. Ain't that a bitch? We don't know about the triple cross. We who deal with hood bitches don't know about the triple cross. Ain't that a bitch?
God, maybe he need to elaborate on that. What that supposed to mean?
I think it's just sometimes these niggas just like to say shit. You see what I'm saying? They don't really have. They just like to say shit. The game has changed. Y'all don't even know. You know how many robbery attempts we done ducked? You have any idea how many times a bitch done been swerved? And dig. It was the bitches that we was fucking for 75 that told us about the setup.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah, man.
Those bitches that was in the game that told us, look, don't fuck with her. She on some scandalous shit. Swerve her. You understand? So we're out here. We're out here. You don't have to tell us the game has changed. We're out here in the field. So, when you said don't know about the double cross, we don't know about the triple cross. We know about the triple cross, the quadruple cross, the pentacross, the hexacross. We know about every cross there is because we deal with hood bitches. I don't understand what you don't get about that. Scandalous, when you're dealing with hood bitches, the beautiful thing about dealing with them is their fuckery is up front. You know it. You expect it. You understand? And if you deal with them for any amount of time, you begin to understand how they roll. You begin to understand how they think. You begin to understand how they see things. All Concrete Rose is back. You ain't follow Obsidian out here? She said, Tony, do you get into long-term relationships with good chicks, or is it just sexual? Let me explain something to you, Miss Rose. Miss Rose, I've been there. I tried the long-term relationship thing, and it just didn't work. Okay? Didn't work. Because I had to deal with all the other shit that came with her. I had to deal with all the other shit. I had to deal with all her fucked up family members. I had to deal with all the niggas that she did dirty. I had to deal with all the other debt. I couldn't get. It's just when I dealt with a so-called good chick in a relationship, she was more expensive. She was more expensive than what she was worth. And she said hood chicks. Let me tell you, you saying I love y'all keep saying hood chicks. I'm gonna tell this story. Mac, you remember that girl I told you about who I was messing with, who was talking about how good she was, how I was fucking her like every other day, and then she came back into I got BV.
Yeah.
BV, what is it called? Gardenella or some shit like that. I got BV and this, that, and the third, and all of this. And this was a girl. This was not a hood chick. This was a straight chick. She was in corporate America. She was making a middle class salary. But guess who she was banging? She was banging the nigga that I call Hustle Man. She was banging me and Hustle Man simultaneously. And she told both him and me the same thing. She told both of us, she said, look, I got BV. So when I went and got checked, they said, no, you're clean. You're good for everything. You straight forever. And so when I told her, I said, I don't know what you're talking about, but they said, I'm straight forever. They said the reason you had that is because you have multiple sex partners. And the bitch got real quiet. She's like, okay, I don't want to talk about that anymore. Like, the fuck, you ain't finna talk about that no more. You done accused me of doing some shit I didn't do. I have always kept a Jimmy with you. You were the one that asked me to bend you over, and hit you that one morning before your kids go to school. I have always bought me a hat. What do you mean? And then come to find out that not only was she messing with me, she was messing with Hustle Man. Not only was she messing with Hustle Man, she was screwing. This is a thing I wrote for Obsidian. I wrote it for Obsidian. It was a true hood story. Go back and find his true hood stories. I told us about this girl. She was sleeping with me. She was sleeping with Hustle Man. She was sleeping with two crooked police officers on the Dayton police force. And the only way all this shit came out, this shit subsequently wound up coming out, is Internal Affairs was investigating those niggas, for taking money from drug dealers. The IA was investigating these niggas for some dirty shit, for some scumbag shit. And they allegedly had pictures of her coming out of a hotel with both the police officers on different dates. She was sleeping with both of them. Now, this is your so-called good chick. This is your so-called upper class chick. This is the one with all the morals. This is why I said that there is no socio-economic separator or segregator in Black America with respect to the so-called hood chicks and the so-called upper tier women. They seem to exercise the same proclivities. They seem to exercise the same damn proclivities when held up to the light of day. So I have seen the fuckery to be no different from the so-called hood chicks than they were from the so-called good girls. The hood chicks were just up front with their fuckery. I knew what to expect dealing with the hood chicks. You understand? So I hope that answers your question. You there, Mac?
Damn, my fault, bro. I was on mute. Yeah, hey, I'm about to get ready for work, dog.
Yeah, go ahead and do your thing. It's time for us to cut this short.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully
Appreciate everybody coming on through, listening to this fucking mess of a live stream.
Yeah, he said, "Well, you can the good chick." No, I was in a relationship, so that was free pussy, and it was the most expensive because it was free. It was free. She made more money than I did, and it was free, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work. It didn't work. So
Was that was from Concrete Rose again?
yeah, no, that was from Red Pill Gladiator.
Oh, okay.
The shit just didn't work, and it broke down, and it don't work. So I'm just gonna forever be fucking hood bitches until they put me in an old folks home, where I'm gonna be abused by some hood bitch that's stripping on the side, and all of this shit, and that's just what it is.
Shit. All right, man. All right, y'all. Shit. Mackcity Limits Radio Show, man. Powerandstrategy.com. Along. You know, like I said, boy, I'm sleepy the motherfucker. Got my boy nigga Fuchsia's Tony Maceo's at the Ichi, boy. And of course, I'm Big Mike, the almighty Triple XL. And we out.